All right, my rootin' tootin' little holiday pog champs. How are we doing? Sorry, the Windows update changed my audio settings. Again. What's up? Howdy. Also, look, we got new gecko. We got new gecko. The crested gecko. Called chorizo. Hey, Gally. A new gecko. In the tank. This tank. Show him? Oh, all right. Me. Gotta get a proper enclosure for this fella. This is a temporary one, of course. You want them in a larger tank than this. All right, you little bastard. How cooperative are we going to be today? Hello? Yes. Oh, yeah, well, I'm doing one at a time. We're going chorizo first. Oh, yeah. Hold on. A brief pause before chorizo. Are you sure? Okay, hold on. Not a brief pause. Come here, you. Hello? Yes, do the crested gecko thing, where every time I try to grab you, you walk forward 3 steps. There we go. Ooh. Chorizo. Yeah, Artemy is circling the chair right now like a shark. Hello? Beep beep. What do they eat? They like goop. Beep. What do you do with that foot? Got a plan? Got a plan for that foot? Gonna do anything cool with it? Is the lizard gay? I don't know, probably. Little dude. Cute pets. All right. Is he transphobic? In my household, he'd better be. Get back in there. Can it lose its tail? Yep. Once. Oh, yeah. Like a shark in the water. Look at him. He knows. There we go. We'll keep you safe for a minute. Look at him. Me. Yeah, now look at that. We also got presents from Vermin. Look, Vermin did little cat sculptures. We got Artemy. And we got Pigeon. Me. Look at that. I gotta tilt them down because they're both looking up. Look how cute that is. They're both blepping. Little rat babies. See, Artemy knows. He knows. Ain't they cute? Blip. Pigeons to Conyer. There you go. Gotta fix that autofocus. Don't worry, Orange August. Pigeon and Artemy are surprisingly respectful when it comes to knocking shit off the desk. Show the horsey? You mean the tree ornament, Tempest? You mean the tree ornament that'd be on the tree and not next to me? Hold on. It's actually next to the tree. Oh, Conyer, could you get the horsey? And the cup? Ooh. Yeah, and look. Look at this cute card Tempest got. Look. It's like rebate taxes for editor work, you know? Like, I pay him. And it lights up. Look at all the cats. My favorite cat is the shadow cat. shrouded in mystery. Look at that guy. Guy question mark. What's he doing? Who knows? The Shinigami cat, exactly. Yeah, it turns off on its own. And also, here, I can't reach that far. Thank you. From Tempest. I don't get the reference, of course, but it's a damn handsome horse. And a world's best boss mug. Ain't they cute? Oh, and Tempest got us some chocolates, too. Nice ones. But Artemy can't enjoy those or he'll die. Artemy. Artemy. Dumbass little baby boy. Thank you, Tempest. We set these here where they won't get knocked down. Hooah. There we go. Did Artemy eat any glasses here? Nope. All plastic light bulbs. How's everyone doing? You guys have a happy Christmas? Or a Merry Christmas? Or holidays? Or whatever. Oh my god. Dude. Dude, look at this. Artemy. I'm a suplex you if you make a jump for him. He's on the hunt. Nice, Brass Penelope. What a wonderful way to spread cheer this holiday season. You may have to put him back up top. Yeah, probably, Vermin. Artemy. Yeah, are you hungry? Are you hungry for Gek? Ooh. Ooh. Wah! Wah! You are purring so loud. Back on the hunt. Okay, I'm putting him away. I'm not risking it. Look at him! Ugh. My holiday argument was with my lib boomer mom. Sadly, I don't have the rhetoric to enlighten her. As usual, she's convinced the left is as hateful as the right. Do we segments we have sent to liberals? Every segment that I've ever made can be sent to the liberals. Whether they'll be convinced by them is another question entirely. You know, there was a segment that I wanted to make really quick for the holiday season, but then I forgot, and I only remembered on Christmas Eve, and then I remembered that I didn't want to bother my editors on Christmas Day, so I just decided to not record it. But it was on, you know, if you're having an argumentative family member in your company for the holiday season, you know, like if you've got a parent or sibling or uncle or whatever who's causing trouble along those lines. Because people email me this, like every single day I get an email. How do I convince my brother? How do I convince my mom, my dad? You know, and it's really unfortunate because it's not as satisfying an answer as a lot of people want, but it's not about any argument you have. It's not about any specific data point. Unfortunately, people are generally really irrational when it comes to being convinced of things they have strong emotional stances on, especially in the context of like family members arguing with each other, because there's all the context and history of their relationship. It's not so much about the argument, you know, it's about how well you can use your knowledge of the relationship you have. But as a general rule, if ever you're being confronted with an argumentative parent or family member or whatever else, and I mean, this is on anything, you know, it's whether you're like trans and they're giving you shit for it, or like gay, or some political position, or they're being a loud Republican, whatever, you know. The first thing you have to ask, and let's be real here, is it really worth having these arguments? Yeah, a lot of you watch your favorite debate lord streamer, and then you go out to your family outing and you're just itching for a disagreement. I gotta tell you guys, okay, I will often avoid arguments with people around me because it's not always worth getting into an argument with people. Artemy, got something you want to say? Like seriously, I like being, even if you're really confident in your ability to debate, that doesn't mean it's like, oh, gloves are off. Anytime I have a disagreement with a friend, family member, a stranger, who cares? I am taking that. I am committing. No, absolutely not. Not at all. I'd be like, I'd be like the idea that like somebody with a black belt in karate must necessarily engage in a death match with everyone who shoulder checks them at a subway station. It doesn't make sense, you know. Um, Having the the tenacity and the calm and the inner peace or whatever to not argue with people who really want to argue with you when you don't think it would be worthwhile. That's an important skill too. It's a valuable lesson to learn. Yeah, it can cause a lot of drama. It doesn't often lead to good outcomes. It's, that's like lesson number one. Is just you don't have to, right? What if they're teasing slash asking for it? Asking for it, my goodness, in my progressive community, no, you're an adult, you know. If they're being annoying, lost cause myth. What about that? If they're being annoying, you don't have to take the bait. You don't have to bite. You don't have to. It's not necessary. Nobody's forcing you to. So I mean, sometimes, but I think for the most part, you can just avoid these conversations. Especially if, okay, I'll tell you this. If you want to come across looking good in any kind of holiday setting, any kind of familial event or whatever, the best thing you can do, more than having the best argument, is make them feel like the burden they're being, you know? Make them feel like, oh, like you're just here to have a good time for the holidays. And they are just pestering you because what they want more than anything is to justify the argument they're clearly jonesing to have with your minimal engagement. You know what I mean? That's what, trust me, as an argumentative person, I can tell you this for a fact, okay? Argumentative people love it when you engage because now they have a pretext. In their head, it's like, oh, I was worried about being annoying, but now that they're engaging, this is like a mutual thing. Um, so the more you make it clear that it's not a mutual thing. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, I disagree. We can talk about it some other time. And if they press the issue, that you can just be like, it's a holiday event. You really think I want to like waste my time arguing with you when we could be spending time together? And you can be insincere when you say that, by the way. That's fine. You don't have to be, uh, you know, fully, you don't have to be fully kind when you say that. But it is a good way to get people to shut up. Generally speaking, if you want to get any kind of productive convo out of this, if you want to have any sort of like, if there's even a shot to be had at, God, he's cute. If there's even a shot to be had at changing somebody's mind in a positive way, you want them to come to you, you know? I've said this a million times. It's really important to remember. The only way you're ever going to change somebody's mind in an interpersonal disagreement is if they respect your opinion enough to even allow it to have an effect on their positions. No matter how right you are, if they feel like they're just kind of talking down to some idiot relative, no matter what you say, it's not going to have an effect on them. In fact, the more you commit to your correct positions, the more likely it is that they're not going to listen to you because they're increasingly fearful that they're getting blown out by their idiot relative, you know? If they come to you, if they if they ask questions instead of making statements, if they're less declarative and more inquisitive, you're more likely to get something good out of that. Vaush, what do you say when they say, oh, it'll never work as an argument? Well, here, hold on, Alex Caraso01. You've already made a critical mistake. You shouldn't be making any declarative statements that they could respond to with, oh, it'll never work. You shouldn't even be giving them the ability to respond with that. If you're having a conversation with your friend or family or whatever, I mean, unless you're in some kind of committed political, I mean, if you just want to get by and through the holidays with the, the best ratio of like positive to negative engagement, you don't want to be laying out any plans or giving them anything to really bite into. You want to make them feel like an inconvenience for bothering you about any of this. I want to take a stand against the fascists, though. No, stop. Snow Desert Judo, you're what they want. Trust me, there is nothing reactionary family members love than these, like, frothing at the mouth, internet poisoned Zoomer lefties. Uh, you're not standing against the fascists by arguing with your family members during the holidays, okay? You're just causing grief for yourself. Don't bother with it. And you'll probably come across looking a lot better with the like wise, reserved political position than the one who opens it sort of, or just sort of offers it openly. You know what I mean? Like, if you're known to your family as a left-leaning person and you're just like arguing up a storm, people are going to think of you as the left-leaning person who's being obnoxious and doing the thing they all thought you were going to do. But if you are, committed to your position but don't want to engage with other people's bait because you're here for the holidays, you come across looking like a lot more reserved, and people will respect you more based on that, which makes it more likely they'll take any of your disagreements seriously. That's my best suggestion. Number one is just stay calm. Do you say something if they say racist, homophobic, or transphobic things? I have a hard time deciding to speak up. Well, it really depends on the context of the situation. If there's a group of like 20 people and 19 of them are all guffawing about some homophobic joke, you stepping in as the 20th person is not really likely to make or break the nature of that interaction. That being said, I feel like generally speaking, the best way to respond to any kind of like half-heartedly proposed bigotry in a social setting like that is usually to ask people for context and always never play up the progressive angle, play up the nice angle. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, if somebody says something transphobic, like real not nice to trans people, don't go in a screed and like gender politics. It's not going to do anything, or explain how they're morally wrong or whatever. You can just say stuff like, you know, "Oh, I don't think that's very nice," or "Oh, I don't get it. Can you explain what that joke meant exactly?" Or, "Oh, I don't understand. I know a trans person back at X, and they seem pretty cool." Usually, because people who are bigots don't want to commit to like the moral weight of their bigotry. They want to be able to just throw jokes out. So if you get them to, if you put them in a position where they have to like double down on or clarify, contextualize, or explain any of the jokes they make, it really quickly starts to make them sound really bad. You know what I mean? Or they can back off of it and they can be like, "Oh, well, it was just a joke," and you can be like, "Oh, I just didn't get it," and you just move on. Because they know they just lost that. Anytime somebody who's racist makes a racist joke and then has to back off and go like, "Oh yeah, I was just joking," they know they've lost, and you know they've lost. And that's fine. You can leave it at that. Don't overextend because they've done a little retraction, because the more you assume of their position, the more they're going to force you to lay out and justify on your own terms, and that gets increasingly difficult. So invoke civility politics against the reactionary relative. Yeah, you're at like the holidays. Sure. As a leftist in the late 30s in the Midwest surrounded by conservative family, this is the best advice you've ever given. Take a big stands during family gathering on loose ground. Yeah, that's the other key move. Okay, like let me put it this way, okay? Let me put it this way, all right? Imagine you're at a DSA meeting. There's lefties there. Well, actually, it's everyone ranging from like liberals to tanky North Korea defenders, okay? Let's imagine you're at a meeting, all right? And you agree with most of the people here about most things, but there are a couple of tanky leaning people. In fact, there are two people that you're reasonably sure are tankies, but they act in very different ways. And I want you to imagine what your reaction to and perception of them might be. One of them is a loud, open, obnoxious, and argumentative tanky who is looking for fights and going around trying to find disagreements to express their positions over. And the other one is quiet. The other one, who came there with the more obnoxious one, is talking to people, having a drink, just socializing like a normal person. And if it ever comes up in their presence, they're like, "Oh, I believe X, but let's not get into it. Would your respect for that person not immediately be much higher? Even if you believed their positions were the same, does that person not immediately give an air of like they know something you don't? They have a quiet, like calm presence. There might be some depth to their position that is not present in the person who's loudly and argumentatively blaring out any position they have. At the very least, they're not being obnoxious, which is an indication they have more social awareness. You don't want to be, if you're progressive, especially if you're the only progressive or one of the only progressives at a family gathering, You really don't want to fit the stereotype of like the person who came there with a chip on their shoulder and you're young and you're a college student and a college student is like really argumentative and you're so passionate and opinionated, but you haven't seen the real world yet, so you don't really know, do you? And then you go out and you start arguing with everyone. You're very obnoxious. You're very preachy. If you do that, not only do you set people against you, but you fit a stereotype so cleanly that other people don't even feel they need to contest your positions. They can just kind of laugh you off. Not a great place to be in, especially because at a lot of large family gatherings, even if it might feel like everyone there is conservative, that's usually not true. Usually, even if it feels like an entire group of people is, conservative or reactionary, a good number of them are actually kind of like moderate or unaffiliated, or at least not confident in their positions. And they're even if they're not the easiest to sway, they're a lot more likely to shift based on the mood of the event because they are not committed enough to any position to defend it against a sort of social pressure. Which means that if you go and make an ass of yourself, those people will be set against you. But if you come across as like calm and reserved, and no, I don't feel like arguing about that, blah de blah, you can, I think, usually have more pleasant private conversations with them. Like later on, it can be like, "Oh, I heard, Uncle so and so was haranguing you about this. Are you really a socialist?" "Oh, yeah, I am. And, I know that those conversations tend to spiral out during the holidays, so I don't want to fight with anyone over it. I'm just here to enjoy the food." I swear to God, if you can pull that vibe off when talking to people, holy shit, like that is a very difficult position to shake you from. It's like a stance. You are very grounded. It's very, very, very difficult to like make you look bad when that's the ground you've taken, yeah, you're building yourself your own fortress. Exactly. It's good. It's good to do. And you can apply this to a lot of social situations, interpersonal with friends. It's really just about like constructing the right social framing to your disagreement. Making other people either have to back off of you, or if they want to reach out to you, they have to like take that step and take your position seriously enough to engage with. I think this works with family disagreements, whether or not it's the holidays. It can work with friend groups, interpersonal situations at like school or the workplace. Basically, any place where you already know some of the people involved. That kind of thing. I feel like you should mention biofamilies mean jack shit and are totally arbitrary. Found families are more important. Oh, that's not really relevant to what I'm talking about. I'm just saying when you're in the position you're in, you got to come across feeling good. You want to feel good, don't you? Oh, you want to know another really good way to filibuster these kinds of conversations? Oh, I tell you, this is undefeatable. This is a secret, okay? This is like Kaioken. I read Dragon Ball recently, all right? This is Kaioken times 10. You think your body's not ready for this? It is, all right? Your power level is going to be shooting through the roof. If you're ever in a situation where you have to weather the indignation of family, friends, whatever, who disagree with you, a great thing that you can do is anecdotes, okay? Don't even make a prescriptive position. Just say something like, "You want to hear something interesting? Burkina Faso, which is a really desperately poor West African country, just had military dictatorship after military dictatorship after military dictatorship until this guy called Thomas Sankara, a Marxist, came along and immediately improved things in the country. I mean, massive gains in literacy, in the development of pharmacies and hospital care. I mean, really, really, really took things up. I think it's pretty inspirational how even an area as deprived as that can suddenly experience a huge increase in the quality of life based on the application of some simple political principles, huh? I wouldn't mention the Marxist part. No, no, no. If people are haranguing you about being a socialist, "Oh, well, why do you believe this? Why do you believe that? Why is this? Why is that?" You don't have to give a prescriptive position. If you want, you can just share an anecdote. And an anecdote is great because people very rarely know how to respond to it. In order for them to challenge what you've said, they either have to like make assumptions about your positions, which can make them look really bad if it comes across as like they're being too antagonistic or whatever. Like if they're like, oh, well, that doesn't mean it'll work. And I just think it's interesting. I just have some historical figures that I respect. Or they have to like challenge it with some like corresponding anecdote, to which you can just say like, that's cool and smile at them. There are so many things you can do to just passively de-escalate the situation around you without backing off your position. That's what I'm really giving you advice on, by the way. It is possible to de-escalate without being a bitch. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now. Those two things are not at all causative in relationship. There's some concurrence between backing off and being a bitch, but in reality, the ability to de-escalate a situation while still looking like you came across the more like knowledgeable or authoritative one, that's a skill, and if applied well, it can make you look really good. Um, that's the hope. Uncle kept baiting me with right-wing comments, pro-capital, race-baiting, white grievance. He wasn't this openly racist a few years ago, and it really broke my heart. He kept blaming $15 an hour minimum wage and the inflation labor shortage. This is my question. How does this stuff come up? Like, are you just sitting there eating, like, pumpkin pie, and he's just, like, screaming like an entire PragerU documentary into your left ear? I wonder, like, hey, I'm trying to enjoy my food. You're being pretty weird. Can you leave me alone? I feel like quite often you can make them look, if they're doing that, if they're just haranguing, if they're gunning for an argument that hard, you don't have to engage. If they say 57 retarded things, you don't have to give 57 non-retarded answers. You can just say, hey, I'm just trying to eat my food. I mean, if you really want to upset a conservative, you can say, why are you bringing like politics into Christmas? Which you don't have to, just passively listening to them is a no-go, because they're ruining the vibe. And you don't need to engage with this. You want to give the impression that engaging with what they're saying is below you, because it is. That's the impression that you want to give. Don't give arguments that they can bite back into. You're at a family event. You're not here to argue politics. They're the ones breaching social etiquette. Why should you feel like you're committing a social faux pas when they're the ones reciting a Dennis Prager script at you? You shouldn't. You should feel, you should be able to just say like, hey, I'm just trying to enjoy my food. I don't really want to talk politics with you. Depending on how antagonistic they've been up to that point, you could just say like, I don't want to, and I don't think it would take too long to explain why you're wrong. If they're being super antagonistic, you can try to bait them with that if they start screaming louder. I mean, eventually past a point, they're being obnoxious enough that you can leverage other people's desire for a quiet, pleasant evening against them. Does anyone else want to talk about something else? Oh, God, by the way. Turning around to the rest of the people at the table. Hey, can we talk about something else? I'm really bored of this subject. Oh, my God. In the right time and place, in the right context. Holy shit. Your poor uncle's going to have a fucking heart attack. His blood pressure is going to go through the roof. It can be done. It can absolutely be done. So the you made it political argument? Yeah, that's what I said. You need to do family dinner coaching sessions. Yeah, I just have like an earpiece to people who are, like having a rough family dinner, and I'm like feeding them lines like Patrick and SpongeBob in the driving exam. So Riz is the answer. Riz is the answer to all things. Of course. What if my uncle is a Stalinist or Maoist, though? I don't know. I can see what you're saying, Vaush. When I was homophobic around my brother back in high school, it was honestly because I wanted to win the argument and look good. God, I know that feeling. I did not believe in the homophobia, honestly, though, only to spite out my brother. I was jealous of him being the better son than me. Yeah, and can you imagine how it would have made you feel if you'd been pestering him and he'd just been like, yeah, I don't even care enough to explain why you're wrong. Like, if he hadn't even engaged, I imagine that would have been devastating to your ego, which is the goal, of course. You want to devastate the egos of the people that you're, that are ruining your holiday dinner. What are we rounding up politically today? Apparently, holiday advice. Vosh, but even after laying down a coherent argument, do you say just let it go when they say it won't work, though? No, no, no. Alex Curris 01, you're misunderstanding. Don't lay down a coherent argument. I'm telling you to not argue. There's no arguments. Don't lay any down. That's a whole different thing. Don't ever have arguments at the holiday event. Don't invest. It's not, if we're talking like an interpersonal direct engagement one-on-one, like you're alone and you're just talking with the other person, and they answer with, "It won't work though," you can just say, "I don't think you understand then. Like, I don't think you even know enough to engage with this." Like, if you're just doing a one-on-one and that's what they have for you, you can just say like, "Yeah, okay, well, I don't think you understand this well enough to even have this explained to you. I can take the time sometime if you want, but for now, yeah, I guess, yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, it's not really worthwhile." You don't want to do that at a public engagement because that would make you look like a huge cunt if you did, which is why you avoid the arguments. Again, we're talking about like family members, usually reactionary family members at like a holiday dinner. These aren't like exactly the cream of the crop when it comes to political arguments. It's not top tier shit intellectually. Okay. Now people are just giving a bunch of specific. Okay, all right. Okay. This is great advice, but I have to remind you there are families that don't have polite holidays. That advice could get you screamed at or hit in some families. I expect you guys to apply like some contextual awareness here. If you're in a family setting where any kind of disagreement or backtalk, even from people who are initiating the disagreement with you, would lead to you getting hit, you probably shouldn't be there. And if you have no choice to be there at all, then yeah, just shut the fuck up and eat your food. I am a strong proponent of the idea that if you're like a teen and you get into constant arguments with your parents over your gender identity or politics, here's my suggestion. Shut the fuck up. You're not going to win these arguments, and you're only making your life harder. I mean it, by the way. Is it fair that there might be people who have to quiet down? There are people who stay in the closet for longer than they should have to over this, you know? Is that fair? No, it's not fair. But I guess if I have to count in my head, like, how many times have young people, progressive, queer young people, arguing with their family, gotten them something good versus something bad? The something bad is like overwhelmingly the more likely outcome because you're a kid and you have no power. I think the best thing you can do in most situations is to either, if it's something like you being trans, I'm not saying you stay in the closet, or being gay. It's like, I'm not saying you stay in the closet till 18 necessarily. That's pretty harsh. That would be like a worst case thing. But maybe keep it on the DL. Don't argue as much as you can. Yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. Get good grades. And then when you're 18, you can tell them to fuck off and go do whatever you want for the rest of your life. It might feel right, this like adolescent desire to rebel against immoral parental authority, and it does feel right. That's a morally sensible thing to want to do, but it's often not very practical. It's good to secure your foundations. In those situations, I say, maybe you're right, even when I know they're completely wrong. Yeah, sometimes you just have to do that. Again, it's not fair. It's not morally good, uh, but it can sometimes lead to a better outcome. Speaking of. Yeah, I'm in the closet about my gender, sexual orientation because my parents are transphobic, homophobic. I'm sorry to hear that. But you might be able to skedaddle sometime soon. And it's really just about knowing, which series of actions are going to lead to the best outcomes for you and trying to act on those. That's what you want to focus on more than anything. People are Hollywood brained when it comes to dramatically coming out or standing up to family. The best revenge is living well and away from dipshits. Yes, it's true. And you can get plenty of vengeful, spiteful comeuppance after you're an adult. I get you, Daisy. I'm not saying stay in the closet. You are literally saying that, and it's okay to admit that. It's the same advice trans people give to each other. I'm not saying that is universally the correct advice. I think it's possible sometimes for the best outcome to have, like, maybe you have homophobic or transphobic parents, but they're not so homophobic or transphobic that they will literally kick you out if you come out of the closet. So you can come out of the closet on that, and then, like, in other respects, like, keep it on the DL, like, oh yeah, I'm otherwise try to be like a dutiful and diligent and respectful kid, yeah, choose your battles, right? Like if you're gunning for some leeway on the whole your gender identity / sexuality thing, maybe pull up a bit less slack in the other fields. You know what's a good way to make parents happy? Get good grades. Top secret. You guys aren't going to like this, but it's true. You know, it's actually really easy to get good grades, you know? Seriously, it's not even an intelligence thing. It's actually an attention thing. You just have to establish an environment in which you can relax a little bit and just get in the info you need to, and you're going to be okay. A lot of people get it in their heads. It's like, oh, it's about being super smart. Oh, no, wait. Actually, it's about rote recitation of memorized information. That's also not true. That's also a cope. Anyone who says that good grades in school are just about that is wrong, and I know that because I never did any of the assignments, still aced the test, blah, blah, big brain, whatever. No, in truth, you just gotta... I have ADHD, Vaush, I can't do it, help me. Yeah, I have ADHD, and I had the same problem, and that's why I'm telling you this from experience, all right? You just construct an environment where you can get your little learning done, you know? Get your little brain rocking on. You can get some okay grades. You can do it. I believe in you guys. Getting good grades in high school is definitely not the most important thing in the universe, but it's not bad. It's not harmful, you know? It's doable. I go to some shitty prep school. Okay, I'm talking about U.S. public schools. I'm sorry. I don't know the specifics of every non-public. Yeah. As an accountant, you've sent the same message 4 times, and I've read it every time. I've read it from first letter to last letter every time. Yeah. Lots of smart people also suffer from test anxiety that sabotages them. Yeah, it's a thing. You know. The real problem with trying to like the real difficulty with like getting good grades in high school isn't actually the difficulty of the segments. It's actually the fact that you're like an idiotic cauldron of broiling emotions at the time, and that really fucks you over. I swear to God, if you could enter high school, not even with the intelligence or knowledge, but just with the chemical stability of an adult brain, you would be like you would be like the goddamn Mordock, okay? You would just be a giant fucking brain. You would just be like moonwalking your way from class to class, like nothing. You'd just be sitting there like, yeah, yeah, okay, test, okay, yeah. Not even knowledge or intelligence, just like basic chemical stability. You know, I hated that not doing homework counted against your grades. Yeah, well, that'll keep going to college for a lot of classes, unfortunately. Vaush only focusing on his high school demographic. Well, we're talking about people being forced into holiday family gatherings, so I'm figuring I'm mostly talking to young people here. Well, good luck, Vulture Video. Modoc, not Mordock. Modoc, thank you. Good grades are easy, you just cheat. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. Really, it's not good for your brain. You gotta set good learning patterns. You know how you have to think to think? People, like, a lot of people think that thinking is like a passive process. It's really not. You have to think to think. You ever done one of those stupid things, and then afterwards you were asked why you did it, and you thought, I have no fucking idea. I have no clue why I did that. It's like, didn't you think? No, I didn't think, actually. I didn't actually think about that. You know? Much in the same way that sometimes you have to choose to think. It's not like a passive process that just happens. You have to choose to learn as well. It's not just a thing that happens by engaging with the material. And I don't think there's anything morally wrong with cheating in a lot of these stupid high school tests. I don't. You're not destroying society, whatever. The problem is a lot of people who get in this habit of cheating every time they come across something socially difficult, they never develop the coping skills or like the learning patterns necessary to actually solve problems that can't be cheated through, you know? And that's mostly it for me. You know, it's more like a developing the right mechanisms for getting through this stuff. Learn to learn. Yeah, learn to learn. It's not like a moral opposition to cheating. Look, you're cheating yourself, okay? It's like that Elden Ring thing or whatever. No, it's like that Bloodborne. It's like that game review, okay? You're cheating yourself. So try your hardest. Sekiro. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Enjoy learning. It really helps. Yeah. Vaush, you're such a dad. Thank you. Vaush, you're retarded and wrong on this. Anyway, what were you saying? I wasn't thinking. Yeah. I think I think one of the most important things that you can learn. Okay, I think I've told this story before, but I'm just going to give it a summarized version, super quick, and then we'll move on. Okay, it's that I remember when I was in my junior year of high school, I was picking out classes for my senior year, and I was trying to choose the classes that would be the least challenging. I was doing this at home. My family was there. My dad got angry at me. See, at the time, I thought I was being smart. If you want to graduate high school, you want to get the best grades possible. The easiest courses you can choose will increase the likelihood of the highest grades. So, I thought I was being, smart by choosing the easier classes. My dad got mad at me, basically for being a lazy smartass. And at the time, I thought he was an idiot. But in retrospect, I understand now I was the idiot. My father was right. It's important at all points in your life to be very passionate about the stuff that you're doing, you know? It doesn't have to be everything. If you work some shitty retail job, I'm not saying you have to go there and be a cuck to your boss and take it all and not complain. I'm just saying, like, if there's stuff you have to do, you want to approach that with like the energy and enthusiasm that you can muster as best as you can. And one of the worst ways you can do that is walk through it in like a, well, what's the easiest way through? You know, you're not a lightning bolt. You're not an electrical current. You're not trying to find the path of least resistance, all right? You want to find your path. And it sounds cheesy, but like if you want to like look at the path of least resistance from a bird's eye perspective, you'll find like 100 million people that are all trying to cram themselves along this little line that snakes through all the challenges in life. But you will learn so many cool things about yourself by testing your limits, you know? It's like being Goku, all right? You don't want to just choose the easy battles, because if you do, you'll never learn that maybe you were a bit better at some of the hard ones than you thought. You can learn a lot of really cool stuff by sort of doggedly pursuing the path in front of you, even if it's not like optimized for ease of access. Just like Goku. That's what I'm saying. You get what I'm talking about, right? I think one of the reasons we keep making anime pro tags like this is because we do kind of like idealize this type of person, the kind of person who will just like passionately ram their head against a wall over and over until the what used to be the wall is now an open doorway they can walk through. That's like an endearing and valuable kind of person. There are people like that in real life, not literally, but you know, it's a good thing to push for. And I think that everyone should do that as best as they can. You know, obviously, it's not always that easy. I'm not saying that everyone here can do everything. I'm not saying that mental illness doesn't exist or people don't get tired. I'm just saying it is good to feel passion and to try difficult things. Whether you succeed or not, the effort will probably help develop you in ways that you might have not have otherwise benefited from. There. Okay, yeah. Work ethic, big sexy, not just work ethic, because work ethic can still be applied to like the bare minimum, you know? I'm talking about like idiot passion, you know? Got to be a little stupid sometimes. Should people try in school though if the goal is to have passion? Yeah, try in school. Yeah, why not? What else are you doing? What you got to go play World of Warcraft? That was me back when I was in school. Give it a shot. Why not? Have some fun with it. I'd rather try in real life. Do that too. But if you're 15, I don't know what real life you're referring to outside of school. Talk to your teachers. Try to learn something. If something in your classes seems kind of neat, learn some stuff about it, you know? Have convos. It's fun. The best advice I ever heard you give was be thoughtful in your actions. Yeah, it takes effort to do that. Trying in school is stressful, though. Yeah, life is stressful. But, hey, I'll tell you this, okay? The stress that you feel when you're trying your best versus the stress you feel as just like the innate passive part of existing in a system you don't like, these are incomparable. This is like the difference of heart palpitations because you've just run a mile and you feel great, and heart palpitations because you're about to die from a heart attack, okay? Trying hard is stressful, yes, but it's not the same kind of stress that a lot of you are dying from day in and day out. You guys who are suffering under stress, the stress you're feeling isn't from you trying hard. Trying hard can feel great. The stress you're feeling is from the passive existential burden of, well, a lot of stuff. But I doubt a ton of it is due to you trying very hard. That's not to say you're not trying hard at something. I'm just saying that when we experience stress, it's often not a product of our hard work or effort. It's a product of like this looming anxiety or like you can't pay your bills but these aren't like trying hard things. The stress you feel when trying hard is valuable. It's like good competition, you know? Nothing feels better than the stress of a good competition. Anything, a little sport game, even if you're a kid, doing a little tourney in like a game. I used to do Smash tournaments when I was a kid. It's just fun. You challenge yourself as best as you can. Be a good sport if you lose, because most people will, and learn from it. Yeah, there's good stress and bad stress. Exactly. Keep in mind, chat, this is Vaush's opinion, Lamau. Yes, disclaimer noted. It's the chance of failure that's scary. Well, you get over that past a point, right? I mean, if you're doing something difficult, you will fail sometimes. That's just fine. Um, that's fine, you know? I agree 100%. Honestly, you inspired me to go back to uni at 24. Going in and trying hard and succeeding feels really good. Yeah, Nuclei, I'm really happy to hear that. That's awesome. Seriously. Congratulations. Um, Yeah, what's that? Practice failing? Yeah, when I took wrestling back in sophomore year, one of the first things they teach you is how to fall well. Because if you're wrestling, you're going to fall down like all the time. Anytime you lose your balance, it'll happen thousands of times. You need to learn to fall well, otherwise you'll bust your head open and die. You got to learn to fail well as well, right? Yeah, anything, any kind of sport they teach you. What happens if things goes wrong, and how do you best overcome that? How do you deal with failure? Um, so you got to learn to deal with failure. That's fine. People fail all the time. I'll tell you, the people who make the least progress in life aren't the kinds of people who never fail. They're the kinds of people who let their emotions get the better of them after they fail. That's the big one. It's not failing's normal. Everyone fails. But there are people who get all down on themselves after they fail. Like they self-hate or, oh my God, I can't believe I couldn't do that. I thought I could. I thought I could. And then like they do this whole like this spiral thing. This is one of the reasons a lot of people find it difficult to get off drugs as well. It's not because they have a relapse now and again. That's going to happen. It's because after the relapse, say they're an alcoholic and they have they get drunk again one night. It's like, oh my God, I got drunk again. I thought I was over this. I thought I wasn't going to do this again. I'm better than this, but I guess I'm not better than this. I don't deserve anything. I'm just going to drink for the next 5 months. Blah, blah, blah. Which, if they could have just gotten up the next morning and gone, oh, well, that sucks. I got drunk again. Okay. All right. Well, day one. And then keep going at it. And then 99% of the harm is avoided there. Artemy don't drink. Except water. Vaush, I've been getting away with half-assing everything and now I've lost the ability to try hard. I've also turned a bit cynical. Any advice on how to become that good kid again? The flaw in your mindset right there. You're not going to become a good kid. Not half-assing things, trying hard, losing that cynicism. This isn't like becoming the good kid again. This is just being a functioning adult. The problem is that your association with your better mindset and your youth is setting an impossible standard. You can never be a kid again. You can be a cool adult. So work on that. You've not lost the ability to try hard. You just don't have the enthusiasm for it. But that's temporal. And everyone's cynical to an extent. That doesn't mean you can't overcome that. It's not a magical reviving your youth kind of thing or whatever. You just, you work day by day at trying to become the person you want to be. Set reasonable goals that you can achieve in a short time frame and a few that you could only achieve in a long time frame, and work on stuff that makes you feel good, and eventually you'll get there. But there is no magic return to, previous position switch. Vaush out here fetishizing suffering. I am doing the opposite of fetishizing suffering, actually. I just described a 5-month relapse bender for an alcoholic as, I'm gonna drink again. Does that sound like I'm fetishizing suffering? There's always opportunity, silly. Yeah, I'm fetishizing the removal of suffering. Is Vaush going through a midlife crisis? I'm in my 20s, first of all. Second of all, no. I'm just talking about how I feel. Vaush, what if you just literally can't do anything? Like, I'll set realistic goals to get everything in my power to get shit done and never do so. What you're describing is called executive dysfunction. It's a component of a couple of mental disorders, mostly depression. You should go to a psych about that, A lot of stuff can help fix that, but that's a very contextual thing. Medication can be helpful. It would be good. Is there any value in stoicist philosophy for coping with failure? Nah, stoicism is massive cuck shit. Stoicism is like, oh, things are bad. Well, life is bad. Cope. Nah, fuck that. I never got stoicism. Anything with fucking Greek statues or Roman fucking marble, whatever. Yeah, get back up and eat that horse. Isn't mindfulness a form of stoicism? Mindfulness is a form of mindfulness. Hitler drank water. Let's not group ourselves too uncharitably. How long is this going on? My brother recommended me stoicism after an outburst I had yesterday. Yeah, what your brother was telling you was to shut up and stop screaming around him. I do not recommend stoicism. All right, we're moving on. Get me out of here. Yeah, I saw this. 4 more power substations vandalized in Washington state, over 14K lost power. I like the use of the term vandalized as though we were talking about, like, spraying graffiti and not taking down power substations that removes power from tens of thousands of people. It's literally domestic terrorism. It's not like that's not like a colorful turn of phrase. That is objectively what it is. It's like, yeah, wacky vandals, Turn the volume on.
People lost power in Washington state on Christmas night after 4 power substations were vandalized, including one found set ablaze overnight.
Set ablaze? Dude, they arsoned a fucking power substation and they're describing it as vandalized. What? Okay. Sure.
Pierce County Sheriff's Office says it's unknown if this was a coordinated attack on the power system. So far, no suspects are in custody.
4 power stations attacked at once? Not known if there was
The attacks come as federal officials warn the U.S. power grid needs better security after gunfire was blamed for damage to 2 electrical substations in North Carolina earlier this month, causing a large outage that took days to repair. For more on this, let's bring in John Cohen, ABC News contributor and former acting undersecretary for intelligence at the Department of Homeland Security. John, thanks for being here. So I just want to be clear, we don't know the motive behind these particular attacks, but federal and local law enforcement have been warning that extremist groups view grid infrastructure as attractive targets. So how concerning is this rise in attacks on our infrastructure and the potential impact?
Yeah, hey, Alexis. The fact that the Department of Homeland Security issued an advisory under its National Terrorism Advisory System is a good illustration of the concern that security and law enforcement officials have. In the case in Washington, investigators will want to look at, who was behind these attacks or these incidents. Were they connected? Were they coordinated? Were they coordinated with those who engaged?
Right. Yeah, I've been wondering about how things would go in Washington for a while, considering the threat of power stations in Washington being attacked. Here, there's a problem with Washington State that I want to illustrate in Paint really quick. Hold on. Open image in... That is my porn folder. Haha. Those are some huge anime boobs, though. Stream can't see that. They're not ready. Gigantic. Oh my god, they're so big. Here we go. So the problem with Washington State is, here we go. There we go. Took me a second to open it in Paint. The problem with Washington State is that it's a little bit like, you can imagine it a little bit like, here's civilization. Okay, here's civilization right here. All right? You see the part that I'm circling? Do you see this? Okay. Now, the rest of the state of Washington might as well be the hills of Afghanistan, because it's all Al-Qaeda out here. All this shit, okay, is like 3 people per square mile, preppers and bunkers under mountainsides. The whole goddamn way around. It's all Al-Qaeda territory. So seriously, like you drive east from Seattle, and in no time at all, you're passing by like giant effigies of Hunter Biden being burned on cornfields. It's insane out here. So I these substations being targeted, man, holy shit. I feel like if things ever get targeted hard enough in the state of Washington, it'll be like the Purge, and this area around the Puget Sound Bay is basically like the one wealthy person's house. It's like, it's like the lights go out, and it's all the hills have eyes. Yeah. What's the population density? 5.
Engaged in similar activity in North Carolina, South Carolina, or these disgruntled employees? Were they people who are ideologically motivated? So a lot of work to be done investigatively, but the concern amongst law enforcement officials is that this is an active threat.
And officials, John, have pointed to the fact that these attacks have long been embraced as an attempt to create chaos, maybe spark a civil war. I mean, are you concerned about copycats or maybe even a more unified effort to engage in these types of attacks?
Over the last several months, we have seen a considerable uptick in online content on neo-Nazi, anti-government forums, not only calling for attacks against the power infrastructure, but also praising incidents such as those that we saw in North and South Carolina. The idea behind it is, particularly in the anti-government crowd, that if you can cause... I
want to be clear again. These people aren't anti-government. They're just anti-liberal democracy, to be clear. They're very, very, very pro-government. They just don't like governments that they think are run by Jews. That's it. They're not, yeah.
If you can cause chaos amongst the populace, if you can knock out power, people will lose faith in government, and then they would be more likely to rise up against the government. Now, while that logic trail may seem silly to many of us, in the fringe extremist world, they believe it. And that may be one of the reasons, or at least law enforcement is concerned, that may be one of the reasons we've seen an uptick in these types of incidents.
How vulnerable are these infrastructure targets? I mean, I think we're seeing it play out. And what more needs to be done to prevent future attacks?
Well, the power infrastructure is broad and it's vast, and there's, all you have to do is drive around your community and you'll see power poles and transformer stations, and it's very difficult to, in the world of security, we call it hardening the target, creating physical security around each and every element. So there's a lot of vulnerabilities. That said, there's a lot that can be done. There's a lot that has been done by the power industry to place physical barriers and protections around key parts of the infrastructure, transformer farms.
You know, this is a little bit beyond my pay grade, but one of the interesting things about substation security and the power grid in general is how difficult it is to get going back online. Practical Engineering has a couple of videos on what you could do to, like, get... here, what is a black start of the power grid? How long would society last during total grid collapse? Nuclear... on basically, like, worst case scenario type stuff. I love this guy. Yeah, he's got a cool, like, dad energy. I like him a lot. The basic gist of it is that every part of getting the power back up online takes power. It's putting... It's like, to use his analogy, it's like building a house of cards. If a house of cards if any card in a house of cards gets knocked over, the entire structure collapses. And there's no way to re-erect that structure without putting back every single card in the appropriate order. And that's the problem, where, like, a couple power substations going out isn't enough, but if enough simultaneous damage was done to enough substations and power generation stations and blah, blah, it would be impossible to get the power going back up in any reasonable length of time. Because it's all these, like, systems. You need power to get one thing going, and then the second thing that starts going requires the first thing to continue going. Every element of the system requires other elements of the system to work properly. So, you know?
And key parts of the other parts of the infrastructure. Law enforcement needs to be aware of the threat. They need to take seriously calls that may come into 911 or the 9 emergency lines regarding suspicious activities in and around parts of the power infrastructure. And the public plays a role as well. If anyone in the public sees something that looks unusual or suspicious in and around...
yeah, if you're walking by your local substation and see a bunch of people with rifles and wearing balaclavas running around shooting at the transformers, then please do call the police. This is a sincere query on my part. Please do that. That'd be good to call the police then.
Parts of the power infrastructure, they should pick up the phone, dial 911, and call local police.
Yep. If you see something, say something. Former Homeland Security official and ABC News contributor John Cohen, thanks for your insight.
News overnight.
Shut up. Tacoma Public Utilities reported about 7,300 customers in the southeast of Tacoma were affected by the vandalism. The use of the term vandalism, man, so high IQ. What is this thing I was linked? Reports of Chinese police stations in U.S. worry FBI. A September report issued by the NGO Safeguard Defenders revealed the presence of secret police stations linked to China set up across the United States. What? What? According to the Spain-based NGO Safeguard Defenders, Chinese public security bureaus established the overseas police service stations in several continents, including 2 in London, 1 in Glasgow, found stations in Toronto and New York. The units were reportedly created to tackle transnational crime and to provide administrative services to Chinese nationals abroad, such as renewing driver's licenses or consular services. What? However, Safeguard Defenders said they also serve a more sinister goal by contributing to cracking down on all kinds of illegal and criminal activities involving overseas Chinese. China has denied running the stations? Wait, are there stations or not? Is there a physical place? What? Mr. Ray says the U.S. has opened a number of charges relating to the Chinese government harassing, stalking, monitoring, and blackmailing people in the U.S. have been critical. Wait, are we literally talking about, like, an office space where there are just a bunch of, like, Chinese nationals there on green cards, and they're all just like harassing local like expats and people who criticize Xi Jinping over social media who are from China. Like it's basically just a way of extending like Chinese political. Okay. Well, this is old news. I haven't heard of it. Here's the full list of the ones they've found so far. Sheesh. Oh my god. I think they should stop doing that. That's my hot take. I don't know how you guys feel. That's how I feel, though. Let me catch up on donos, then we'll keep going. Whoa! Kings and Generals donated a little bit ago. 20 Canadian. Thank you. This is probably the best Vaush stream ever. I have my shit together, but this is going to help even me. Oh, thank you, Kings! Gosh. This is going to help even me. Listen to your Uncle Vaush, kids. Yeah. Thank you, Kings and Generals. I appreciate it. Yeah, getting compliments from kings and generals. Really broad spectrum authority there. Spectrum to authority. What the fuck am I saying, dude? I'm still crunked up on all of that Christmas liquor. Benderston's Vault with the $10. Are you going to play Dwarf Fortress? No. No. Dastardly Bastard the Second with the $20. Thank you. Found you through Paul's Ego and T. Kirk. I like your work. Here's some shekels. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I like T. Kirk very much. Paul's Ego has been pretty weird about me in the past, but I love T. Kirk. Hell yeah. Bottle Coochie with a tier 2 sub. The way you phrase advice is a good way of getting through my emotions and helping me think rationally about my problems. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I've always felt like I do a decent job dadding people. You know, I don't have any kids myself, of course, but I feel like it's a skill set that I have. No, I didn't, Econo Boy. I guess I just have to go impregnate a bunch of women. Oh, I have at least one kid. Or two. Artemis. Look at it. Look at him. His nose is right there. He's got it all crunched up on his hand. I did, Punk Corpse. Chorizo Vosh, don't forget about your new child already. The geckos are my siblings, not my children. Brandon, thanks to 2 Australian. Crowder would beat Tucker Carlson to fist fight easy. John Brown, the $2. What's your favorite Fallout? New Vegas, not an original answer. Dash and Scan, $5. Any comic book writer who truly understands Superman would portray him as smugly optimistic as you and have him talk like you too. That is very flattering. You know, I was talking over the holidays with Demon Mama and some friends about oh, I'll do it at the end of stream, Tempest. Yeah. Yes. About what you could do to make a good Superman movie. Oh, you guys are donating a lot. I'm gonna have to move through these a little bit faster. Sake with the $10. Vaush is right. Context doesn't matter. If it isn't working, you're not trying hard enough. True. Sake with the additional $10. No, if you end up with bad outcomes from arguments with parents, you're just not grounding your axioms properly. You know what makes parents truly happy, Vaush? Not being a bottom. That's probably also true. Lena Lux, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I'm sorry to hear you got in a political argument with your dad, but maybe something will come of it eventually. I hope so. Butt Chungus, thank you for the $5. Have you played Deathloop? It was one of the biggest disappointments I've had in a game since I liked Prey 2017 Outer Wilds so much. Merry late Christmas. I had played Doom and Quake a bunch, so I bought Deathloop because I was like, I like shooters in general. Let's play a modern shooter. And Deathloop sucked so fucking much. If ever you want to like experience modernity and all of its crushing weight and disappointment, play Doom, which is like a pure shooter experience. It's so pure, you can't even aim along the y-axis. You move around and you shoot. That is Doom. And then with Deathloop, it's like, here, enter the zone. It's so much shit. Enter the zone. Here, get your scrungles equipped. Fucking, every game feels like it has to do everything now. And all these games do this live service multiplayer bullshit 24/7 too, in a way that really detracts from the single player experience. Now you might like Deathloop in a way that I don't, but like, God, I just got and started playing Doom Eternal. It's like MDMA in game form. Yeah, I really wish we had a different term for games like the Fallout series, because I legitimately don't think that first-person shooter is like enough to describe them anymore. Because we all played Doom Eternal and Doom 2016, and those are fucking shooters, dude. Doom is a shooter. That's a shooter, okay? You move and you shoot. But now it's like, yeah, like action RPG or something. It's like so much of the game isn't even shooting. It's going around and this and that and like like people don't call Fallout New Vegas a shooter. We've accepted the fact that it's an RPG from a first person perspective. That's great. Fallout New Vegas is great. But then with the other games, or the fucking Ubisoft, the games, come on, Far Cry, retards, the Far Cry games. People talk about them like they're just shooters or whatever. It's like, if you go into a game like Far Cry thinking, I can't wait to be mechanically tested on my ability to shoot stuff, that's like 5% of the game. Right? Do any of those games test your shooting abilities? Even on higher difficulties, it's more about understanding the best way to break the RPG mechanics. Very rarely will those games demand of you a very like high, even on the highest, and I've played Far Cry 3 in the highest. Yeah, action adventure. God. What was I doing? Charlotte, thank you for the $5. I came out to my family on Christmas Day, Vaush. My father still insists on calling me his son and not be mad at him. Well, Charlotte 96, I'm sorry to hear that. Though maybe give them some time and they'll move over. Even as a only moderately transphobic person myself, I can fully sympathize with parents feeling a bit blindsided by their children announcing they're trans. Obviously, it doesn't excuse them being transphobic. I'm just saying that I can imagine that people can take a little while to move over, and that's probably the more common outcome, right? I hope they do. Kai Natalia, thank you for the $2. This is my first live. I've learned so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hope you're still around. A nice coat. Thank you for the $5. Hello, Mr. Vaush. My partner's a big fan. I wondered if you could do an examination of the love jihad conspiracy theory at any point. I have no idea what that is. I couldn't even make an assessment, but also hi. If I'm blurry, it's because I need to fix the goddamn autofocus. That better? Whatever. Sobtop, thank you for the 10 Australian. About this holiday argument, discussion, it's interesting that both you and Sam Hyde have very similar advice. Well, yeah, he and I are the same guy. We're both fat, loud guys. The Random Rabbit, thank you for the $5. Frieza's a good opponent for Goku because he's the opposite of Goku in every way. He never had to work at anything. Yeah, fuck Frieza. Radical AC, thank you for the incredibly kind Tier 4 sub. I really, really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Joe Biden, thank you for the $5. Snow Desert Judo with the tier 2 sub. Thanks for the advice earlier. I needed it. So easy to get fired up with all the stuff going on. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with taking a break from all that when you're with the family. And if you can make some of your asshat family members feel stupid for pestering you, then all the better for it. Alien Spook with a tier 3 sub. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate that. For Christmas, I came out to half my family as trans. They went and made a complete spectacle of me and completely made sure I had a horrible Christmas. Fuck family bros. Fair and true. Maybe a bit inappropriate to say this because two people have already said that they've come out on Christmas. I would recommend not coming out on Christmas, actually. Holidays are times of high stress and involvement for people. There are a lot of expectations on your plate if you're a parent or whatever. If you were looking for a good time for them to accept the like very large life changing, bit of info, it'd be good to, you know, just speaking generally, not to say it justifies anything bad having been said to you or that things would have necessarily changed if you'd done it different. I'm just saying, I would recommend finding a quiet moment if you could. Do it at somebody else's wedding. Dastardly bastard, I never played the Mass Effect games. Sorry. LJ, thank you for the $10. Yes, loading strategy from sales. Yes, sales strategies fucking turn their minds inside out. MSDXR, thank you for the 10 gifted tier 1 subs. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, MSDXR. Christmas present, we'll be doing a solid touch grass holiday for a month or so. I don't want to see people goose stepping all over the US when I get back online. Don't worry, I'm sure I won't have succeeded by then. Take care, MSDXR. Thank you again. I really appreciate that. The Random Rabbit, thank you for the $2. Interrogation is a decent game. Haven't heard of it. Can give it a look. John Brown, thanks you for the $2. I have not played State of Decay. Fail Sans recommends Metal Hellsinger. I'm getting a lot of recommendations here. AT5D2D Derek, thank you for the $5. What if your dick is rock hard to argue with your MAGA uncle and a good debate helps both of you bust a nut to the horror of your family? If you have a special arrangement with your uncle, then who is Vaush to take away special uncle time? Shiro Kuma, thank you for the $5. Really appreciate that. 42 years old doesn't make you a boomer just yet, okay? I'll try my best. Fantasy Jorts, thank you for the $5. Retrying in school convo. The most important skill you actually get in K-12 is learning to be able to sit yourself down and do boring but important things. To an extent, that's true. I think the social skills are also a huge part of it. But yeah, it is learning that skill is important. Doing work is important. Zenny Gwenny with the $5. I had to skip my family's Christmas party being trans. I stood them up hard, but I feel much better doing it and spend time with my chosen family. Nice. As long as you had a good holiday, my friend. All right, we're all caught up with donos. Now, what is this Piers Morgan bullshit? I'm always saying this. I'm glad, XLR. This seems fine. Huh. I don't know what any of this means. Messi is the real GOAT and Mbappe. I think that's about soccer. We do not fuck with them. Funny, hate, and words. Something about Marx being anti-Semitic or Jewish? Allahu Akbar, God is good. Fuck G, baby. Yeah. That's true. Pierce been hanging out with Kanye. His account got hacked, whatever. He's basically just been the most annoying Elon Musk. No, not really. No. It's not the Elon Musk simping from Piers Morgan. It's that he was defending the Qatari government nonstop with the World Cup shit. Screeching about how unreasonable it is for woke liberals to believe things like that the Qatari government shouldn't kill gay people or whatever. Right? That was him. Top G, baby. Yeah, isn't Andrew Tate back on the platform? I actually haven't seen... I don't see any of his shit. Cobra Tate. God, I can't get over how this guy looks, man. I can't get over how this guy looks. It's I can't get over it, man. He's so funny looking, dude. Jesus Christ, you could never in a million years convince me that this guy was straight. Do we know for a fact that he is? I mean, he says he is. Has he ever had sex? Maybe he hasn't. I mean, we don't know. He looks uncircumcised. He looks a lot of things. Got beta. We should, oh wait, we should rate Andrew Tate tweets on how beta they are. Out of 10, right? Because I haven't looked at his Twitter in a while. We'll teach you how to escape the work, consume, die cycle. Over 200K students learning the secrets to wealth creation in real time. Isn't this just crypto and drop shipping? Isn't crypto down like 70%?
The world is influence. It's always been about influence. Pitched battles in which armies go to war with machines of death and destruction is about nothing more than influence.
That's true.
Controlling the land to influence it, to tell them what language to speak, tell them what currency to use, tell them who to vote for. It's always been about influence. We're now living this. You must live with a purpose. They don't give you the news.
Oh, dude, the Matrix. It's the Matrix. Wait, doesn't that mean his house is in the Matrix? Doesn't that mean that he's in the Matrix?
Matrix is done so with a purpose. They don't give you the news for free because they want you to be informed. They give you the news for free because they want you to watch it so they can tell you what to think. Every class.
Hold on. That was incredible.
What to think.
That's you. That's me right now. Oh my god. His body shape is so weird. Yeah. His whole body has been pounded into an unusual shape from all of the mixed martial arts.
Real world will never lie.
Is it just him talking? No wonder they had to jazz this up with CGI. He's not very interesting on his own. Take the red pill at therealworld.ai. Click to play the video. Didn't we just
Hold
watch?
on tight. We're about to get rich.
Okay, is this just the crypto dropshipping thing? Guys, is this just the crypto dropshipping thing? Is this the pyramid scheme like before? This is the same pyramid scheme, right? What is Bitcoin at right now? Oh my god. All those people at the beginning of 2022 with all the NFTs and stuff, like yeah, we'll get you rich, you know? Whew. Wait, it fell even more? I mean, it keeps falling. It's not going up. It's the, why won't it wake back up? Ma, the crypto's asleep. Yes, dear, it's asleep. We sent the crypto to a farm upstate. Sheesh. Good currency. Play the video. This video? I wonder if there's any copyright issue. He probably not. He wants it to display.
Right here, Hustlers University. The main
Holy shit, that's loud. Is there like a volume? There wouldn't be a volume thing here, would there? I'll just turn it down in OBS.
impossible to not make money.
Being part of a community of students
We
who
all help each other. We're all in there for one thing, and that's to make money.
it's what allowed me to quit my job.
It's pure freedom.
Oh, the line goes up and down Bogdanov meme? Oh my god. Hold on. They're all getting fucking bogged, dude. Holy shit. Bumpy.
Bogdanov, il booked City.
Continuité dump.
Panic, sir.
Temporary bottom, reversal.
He's not paying.
Repeat and pay tabule flag. Putting to sleep. Load the Korea food.
Is that awake?
Making pink kicks the bottom. Drop off the volume. Dump it again.
Il était perdu.
Push it sideways.
L'histoire grossière.
Print 100 million Tether 1 equals to C. Temporal pit.
Is that awake?
Roundup.
Et pour ce type,
Sideways until it slips, then crashy with the exact same Korea fond. Get vitally consolen.
Bastard.
Grand pattern for 2 hours and then wake him up.
Okay.
is that a wank?
Load the flipping trade.
Dead what?
Crash it.
You think he said,
Activate quantum immortality. Now print 200 million tether.
he thinks we are going to
We are, let him in.
be seen.
Profit.
He thinks he's about to make it.
Kill him. Transfer everything. And then find the notaire.
And for the low, low price of like, I don't know, $800 a month, you too can be this guy. This is what he offers you. Wait, what are we rating this? I rate this 9 out of 10 beta. What standard are we doing? I don't know. Moving on. Men are expected to have money, intelligence, and other achievements. Anything less, you're called a loser. Understand life isn't fair, but that's a good thing. And other achievements. Understand what? I don't think this even means anything. This doesn't mean anything. Stuff is hard, but okay. All right. 2 out of 10 beta? It just doesn't say that much. Brothers, your enemies are plotting your absolute destruction, and they are not taking days off to chill. Do you understand? Me, when I'm fighting for world first on Archimond. Oh, we are really committing to the Matrix shit here. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, and you become this guy. The Matrix, in which the Matrix attacks.
He's on every target right now.
Yes, sir.
Target acquired. Then we have a deal.
Oh, man. I wish I could say that the people this would work on aren't even old enough to know where their parents keep the credit card to make the payments, but unfortunately, there are adult men who buy into this. Exclusively adult men. We make fun of a lot of women on this show, but I want to be clear that all of this is a male-branded kind of retardation, you know? Anytime you ever make a joke about women, and please do make jokes about women, just remember that the two largest male role model figures in Western media are Jordan B. Peterson and this guy, okay? And keep that in mind, all right? The Land of Fire. You can't tell me this guy is straight, man. I wish I understood. I can't believe I'm appealing to like old world masculinity here, but can you imagine Andrew Tate trying to explain what it means to be a man while standing next to like, I don't know, John Wayne? Like, I feel like in a way we've almost regressed. The funny thing is that Andrew Tate sells himself as some kind of guru of masculinity as an alternative to like cucked capitalist consumerist culture. But that's all he advertises himself based on. He's like, yeah, dude, you live in the Matrix. Time to escape and live in my world, where we do promo videos that show that I have a car and a jet. Look at my runway model walk, and my neck fanny chest pack. Escape the Matrix. Nice shoes. They are nice shoes. Like literally, that's his line is like the what color is your Bugatti thing. It's like, dude, are you're tired of corporate media telling you what to believe? Huh. Well, time to base your value entirely off of this shiny vehicle that we're going to purchase because the people in charge say that it's a worthwhile indicator of your self-worth. Only 6,000 likes. Oh shit, he's dropping off. Wait! What is this video? Tee, looking back. You know that Tate's got his, like, both of his feet up on the seat like a child, and he's holding his phone like this, and the driver looks in his rearview mirror back at Tate, like, do it again, dude. Yes, yeah, he did it again. He made eye contact again. He keeps doing it. Because you know, Andrew's like, this is so, dude. Taking a POV video from the back seat of a car just makes me think of high school. What is this? Yeah, I remember being in the back seat of a car being driven by an old guy. It was my dad driving me to school when I was in like 8th grade. What are we doing? He's in a car seat in the back, yeah. He keeps making eye contact. Why is he in the back? Yeah, like... Hee. That's so weird. How to resist the slave mind programming. He's in a bathrobe. Okay.
Is based around the fact that you have no true boundaries in your life. You don't believe in anything, whether it's religious. You don't believe in anything cultural. You don't believe in anything traditionalistic. You don't even believe in the ideas of win and lose.
So I'm laughing at the chat.
Yeah.
These guys are crazy. Rumble is lit, man.
A lot of F words.
Rumble's a different story.
Sorry,
if you don't believe in anything traditionalistic, you don't believe in anything religious, you don't believe in even winning and losing, your mind is completely empty and ready for their programming, and they'll convince you.
If you don't believe in anything religious, your mind is open to programming? Dude. Quickly, convert to Islam to avoid indoctrination.
You of anything they need to convince you of.
What is he saying? Well, as is often the case with these, like, masculine male oh, God, today. Oh, there's a reason we started stream at 7 p.m. tonight, lads. As is often the case with these male role model types, they don't really say anything. Okay, you guys know how sometimes you'll get spam emails and it'll be like, oh, I'm a prince of Nigeria, or oh, I have incredible wealth, but you need to give me some money so that I can get all my money and then we'll split it 50-50. You know how those emails, those scams, those phishing schemes are always like really obviously fake? Like, it seems like a joke, right? Like, they're so obviously scams that no one would buy into them, right? Well, that's the thing. Some people do. The reason they're structured to be so fake, like from the upfront, is that they don't want to waste time with smart people. They don't want to put out a scam email program that'll reel in lots of people, and then most of those people will be smart enough to be more incredulous when the bank info starts getting asked for. They want the retards up front. It's made to be stupid from the get-go, so you waste less time on the back end with the interpersonal engagement to fleece them off their money. They make it stupid up front. That's what we're looking at right here. That's not a joke. That is what this is about. Why is this all so obviously dumb? Well, they want retards to give them money. If they were smart, they wouldn't be giving them money. Smart people wouldn't give them money. So, obviously, they need to construct their image around the type of people they're looking to get over. Why are all these businesswomen and CEO chicks married to very rich men? It's almost as if the man pays for their entire lives and their businesses are hobby bullshit. Do you mean like those chicks who do like the pyramid scheme shit from their garage? I think he's talking about like the upper middle class suburban women, the white women, who will do the true vermin. They'll do like the Amway shit or whatever, or like they'll do the pyramid scheme makeup sales. Wait, why would Andrew Tate be making fun of people for pyramid scheme bullshit. Hey! 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 They don't like it when women do that shit. Men do it. You get the life you deserve. Most of your cards, that's what you get. If you want more, do more and become more. What is this? Wait, what is this? Copyright is what it is.
Is massively on its way up. I will say that Dubai is massively on its way up.
He got paid to say this.
All the world's money is moving to Dubai. And when I say all the world's money, I mean everyone. All the Russians are going there. Chinese are starting to go there. Everyone I know in Europe with money has got a second home in Dubai. Everyone said,
wait, that doesn't mean they're moving there. It means they have a second home there. Wait, what? Nobody wants to move to Dubai because it's a cultureless shit heap in the middle of the desert with no redeeming qualities. It's not even a real city. It's literally just a pile of money assembled into a tall building with some surrounding business districts. People buy second house there. That's not moving there.
setting up no crime, no tax.
What? There's no crime? What? It's a slave state. Okay.
No tax. The tallest building in the world. The best health care.
What? What? Does this text say American hospital? What? What?
Care, best education systems. It's
what? Nobody's raising their children in Dubai. Okay, he got paid to say this. He fake converted to Islam. You know, he's just making money off a new like demographic now. I really want Andrew Tate to learn Arabic so I can watch the Tate equivalent of that John Cena speaking Chinese to apologize to the people of China for referring to Taiwan as Taiwan and not Taipei thing. You know, like we can see him in like a big turban or something. The Bing Chillin', yeah, we can see him in a big turban talking about the need to like control your many wives or whatever. Aren't cam girls against Islam's teachings? Well, considering the fact that the people he'd cozy up most to are probably the Saudis, and the Saudi royal family cares as much about Islam as I do, I don't think it matters that much. Well, I guess we live in the Middle East now, Vaush. Yeah, well.
It's gorgeous. I can walk around without security.
What? 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 Wow, that's actually worse than I thought. That was the first image that came up on Dubai from the street. The joke here is he said walk around, but you can't actually walk anywhere in Dubai. Because Dubai is literally just a bunch of roads and highways that connect the sewer trucks to the resorts. Jesus, look at this sidewalk. Oh my, it's like nothing. They just laid this shit out there on the ground. Look at that. Grim.
And it's like a utopia in a world that is all around it crumbling.
The war room. Oh, this is his thing. You can't make it alone. Men belong in gangs? I thought no crime? What? Men belong in brotherhoods. These brotherhoods need to share a common goal. If you want to be a winner financially and physically, you join the war room. Cool gangs? I think they mean like white supremacist prison gangs. Isn't Dubai the place with the poop trucks? Yes, Dubai is the place with the poop trucks. Vaush, I thought men have to be their own person. What the fuck? Yeah, the weirdest thing about like neo-masculinity is this oscillation between being a man is about like being strong and being a proud individual and asserting yourself and rejecting all these systems that try to control you. And here are all the systems you have to religiously subscribe to with no adjustments or alterations whatsoever, or you're not a real man. There's this bouncing back and forth between be a strong version of yourself, and you have to be these 87 arbitrary things that I've decided mean what, like, manhood. Like Fight Club? Like Fight Club. Wait, roll this back a minute. What's this I hear about poop trucks? Dubai does not have a sewer system because it's not a real city. It is a money pit built by rich people. The Dubai poop snake. Every morning, the traffic jam begins as the poop trucks enter the city to connect their poop hoses to little stations all about the place to suck up the poo. There you go. Me surveying my fleet of poop trucks with the poop pipes. I assume they just go dump this in the ocean or like a big pit in the ground. I don't know. Sandals. Sandals! Well, don't be too mean to him. He is probably literally a slave. Where are we again? You've been programmed to be poor and weak, easily controlled. However, you can also be programmed to be rich and strong. See, this is exactly what I mean. Why would you frame it as like programmed to be rich and strong? Programming, as in the stuff written by another person that you have no control over, and just like a set of instructions that you follow with no deviance whatsoever and no free will to be rich and strong. Why would it matter? Like isn't this a weird way to frame it? I genuinely think that Andrew Tate style people appeal to very ideologically submissive men. And you all are going to make sex jokes, but I genuinely mean that. Like, these are desperate people, lonely, and very insecure. And they they really do want to have no intake on their own life. Andrew Tate is like stupid Nietzsche. There is nobody farther from Nietzsche than Andrew Tate. Nietzsche is all about like creating your own master morality and living an authentic and true life by actualizing your desires. This is the opposite. He's advertising programming as a good thing. This is the exact opposite. In 2013, it was reported that the Jebel Ali plant receives about 70% of the sewage throughout the city's sewage network, while the remaining 30% comes from sewage trucks. Jesus. Poop trucks. Was Nietzsche not a nihilist? Not in the way you think. Holy shit! Wait, is this like a glow up thing? Like the freak, the Patrick Bateman wannabe on the bottom is supposed to be like an ideal? Holy shit!
Before then, I mean, I'd had a few jobs, but I figured out that I didn't really want to work a job, and I wanted to be location independent.
Oh no, they're
I
two
wanted
different
to make
guys.
my own
Okay,
money
I don't
online.
know.
I didn't want to wake up in the morning, have to drive to work, talk to a boss, be like, yeah, do all that stuff. Before I joined the real world, I was super broke, and I couldn't even make my credit card payments. And I was living in my mom's basement too, and I was in okay shape. But besides
Wait, are
that,
they?
I mean, nothing was really going for me. So when I decided to go full into the real world, that's when I really started to make money, and I wouldn't trade that decision.
Wait, who's this person on the bottom? What even is this? I never even... Rumble video? You are poor, you are unimportant, men do not fear you. Your woman disagrees with you. Your lives are shit. I have to say, there really is no stronger... I do love the Jake Paul fighting the dildo thing. There really is no stronger testament to, like, how weak somebody is than them... Like, men do not fear you. Your woman disagrees with you. Like, don't you have to be some kind of giga pussy to, like, the idea of spending your life with somebody who will challenge you, like, that you don't want that? Like, you're so weak that you need to construct an environment where you're not being criticized by people. I guess that kind of does lead to where Andrew Tate is right now, because he's surrounded by yes men. Check the hidden replies. Oh, isn't this the one? He hid that one reply. Really seems like your life is absolutely devoid of meaningful relationships. No wonder you converted as a cope. True! God damn, 27.6 thousand on a hidden fucking reply. Incredibly weird. Your lives are shit. If I was forced to endure a week of your life, it would be the worst level of depression imaginable. Guys, I want you to remember, okay? No matter what it might seem like, okay, we make a lot of jokes about Andrew Tate not knowing how to eat pussy, which is true. They're not really jokes. I genuinely don't know if he has sex. This may sound like kind of weird, but okay, how many times have you heard about there being like rock star, A-list Hollywood celebrities, especially women, where it seems like they have the world eating out of their hand, and then there's some big expose a couple of years later, and it's like they were miserable, they had an eating disorder, they had a gambling addiction, their relationships were falling apart, they felt sick and diseased the entire time. Like, how many times have stuff like this happened, where they put up an image, but they don't have... The rich people who like fuck whoever they want, let's be real, are like, because we're talking rich people here, so we're talking like miserable sacks of shit. The kinds of rich people who just fuck whoever they want are like, what's his name? The guy in Hollywood who raped a bunch of women. I'm actually blanking. Weinstein. Yeah. These like disgusting, completely undiscerning sacks of shit, who just use their power to, yeah, well, I guess I do have to be more specific. I have to narrow it down, but just these undiscerning pieces of shit. The thing is with people like Andrew Tate is like, we know they're insecure, or at least they sell insecurity as an ideology to other people, but it would not surprise me at all if Andrew Tate like subsists entirely off of seltzer water, spends 2 hours a day crying, and like has like psychiatric episodes he has to push down the well with like a pill addiction. There's nothing about him that sells me on him having a good life. Remember how emotional he got during his debate with Hassan? Yeah, he got freaked out really quickly. The only testament we have towards like him doing okay is that he can model walk between expensive vehicles. That's it. That's all we have, right? Like, that's the, like, in terms of immediate proof, that's what we have. He can do model runway walks in between expensive vehicles. I would not be surprised at all if my man here, like, fuck, would he be a virgin? Fuck it. Until the Tate sex tape drops, I'm saying he's a virgin. I'm committing. I'm committing to it. Romania. Yep. He's a rapist. He has 4 secret kids. I'm committing to the bit. They're all adopted. He's had one sexual partner who was the love of his life, and since they broke up, he's been celibate. Yep. He had a high school girlfriend, and since then, you know, he dated Jordan Peterson's daughter, right? Yeah, and she's doing great. I remember that though, yeah.
Week is perhaps first. Do you have extra motivation? Whatever your resolution is, the second New Year off, start.
It is a good idea if you want to make any positive changes in your life to not wait until New Year's. You are being programmed. You cannot stop it. Everything you are stems from what you've experienced. It's an unstoppable force like gravity. You cannot stop the programming, but you can choose what you hear and experience. You can choose what and who programs your mind. Does this, like, this is so fucking weird. Literally, like, your entire life is being shaped and controlled by bad institutions, but I can be the one shaping and controlling. What is this? I just, you have to be so fucking weak to fall for this. There was one clip I was kind of hoping to see here because I saw a bit of it where it was like, I don't know if anyone saw it or if anyone heard a bit of it or if it was off a retweet, but basically somebody was asking him why he has like his girl make him multiple cups of coffee when he only has one or something. And he's like, if a burglar ever came into my house, I would fight to the death to defend you. The least you can do is make me an extra coffee to show me you appreciate me or something like that. I saw a clip of that. It was incredibly funny. It might have been a retweet from like an old bit though. It's impossible to find it though because he tweets like 5,000 times a day. It's here. You found it for me? Oh my God.
How am I going to let some... Okay, yes, you're a beautiful young lady. Of course. You're a very gorgeous woman. But I'm the big G. What, you're not going to clean my house?
Yeah. Right. So I am a dumb bitch. How can I not be so stupid and keep my husband? I want to keep him happy. And I think all the women listening too, they want to know the secrets to a good relationship.
I'll tell you the secrets.
Yeah, I'm writing them down.
I'll tell you the secrets. Oh
yeah.
Let me tell you the secrets.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm taking notes.
I don't think most women understand what men are looking for in general from life.
Okay.
And it's not just relationships.
2 cups of coffee.
It's in general from life. I think, and when I say think, I mean I know, that men are biologically designed, we're evolutionarily hardwired to seek status. That's what we want.
Why does he do the fake accent thing? Why does he do that? He talks normally for most of it, but then he does this weird semi-British accent. He sounds like Andy No. He's actually British American, but he switches accents. It's not consistent.
Biologically designed, we're evolutionarily hardwired to seek status. That's what we want. Men talk about wanting money. You don't want money, you want power. You want power, you want status, you want the fast car. You don't care about the car. You want everyone to know you have the car and they can't have the car.
Right. It's so beta. It's so fucking insecure, dude. It's so pathetic. You dedicate your entire life to getting things that you don't even want or care about just because you're so desperate to make other people who also want things they don't actually want feel bad because you have... Like, what the fuck? It's such a rat race, dude. He talks about getting you out of the rat race, but he's like bragging about being in the most meaningless rat race of them all. There's nothing... Like, does he enjoy any of it? He said he doesn't enjoy food or sex. I know he doesn't enjoy sex because he keeps having it with women. He hasn't figured it out yet.
If everyone had a Lambo, you wouldn't want a Lambo.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So we want status.
That's it. Like, oh, your desire for things is so weak that somebody else having that thing makes you not... They're weak. They're so weak.
So every single thing we do is status driven to some degree.
It's true.
Meaning the female we are with has to add status to our lives in some form. That's why we like beautiful women, right?
Big titties.
But a beautiful woman who doesn't behave and doesn't obey isn't really much status.
Yep.
So when we're looking for status, we want a beautiful woman who is compliant because it's unique and it's scarcity that provides value. Right. So if you want to keep your man happy, you need to think, how do I make my man look better to the world? How do I make him look better?
Unique? Wait, I thought he was just saying that the compliance of the woman was valuable because it would add status, but is the compliance only because of its novelty? In a world where all women were compliant, would he prefer the back-talking woman because that's unique and thus that... Okay.
In front of other men. You know what? If I were to just make him 2 coffees and shut the fuck up, he's going to look like the big G. And he's going to be in love with me. That's what you have to do as a woman.
Well, let me just stop you real quick and say something. You got a lot of work to do.
Me?
Yeah.
I brought you 2 coffees this morning because you were coming in, and I said, Tommy, here's your 2 coffees. I did.
I'm just saying, he made a lot of sense. And just,
what do you fucking...
I'm just saying, keep taking notes. Don't even talk to me. Keep taking notes.
So give me some examples of how I can increase my status, therefore increasing his status. You mentioned the 2 coffees. Now, why do you request that? Let's go through the logic of that.
Sure.
So, yeah.
because it's a basic respect thing, right? And compliance is something which is going to increase the status of your man in front of other people.
Right.
And truthfully, it's not really a very big ask. The fact that it's basically pointless is the whole point of it. I drink one, I don't drink the other one. It's just a respect.
What a fucking homo, dude. Vermin makes me 2 coffees every morning and I drink both of them. You drink one? Sorry, my man only, but it's my man's only meal. His manorexia demands he has nothing but seltzer and like kale chips. So, can't have 2 coffees. It'll set him off.
Thing is doing something which is basically pointless to show you have respect for me. And that's not me being insecure or crazy or whatever. I have a lot of jobs as a man, and I make sure I fulfill my side of the duty fantastically. I'm not going to let anything happen to you. I'm going to take care of us financially, etc., etc.
So the compliance equals respect thing's so abusive? Obviously, but they don't care if they're abusing women. They like abusing women. He fled to Romania because he was abusing women. They know they're abusing women. They're fine with it. They want to rape. People who like Andrew Tate want to rape women. It's not like that. So you can talk about that, sure. But like broadly, it just makes you a giant cuck. I mean, leaving aside the fact that Andrew Tate's mouth and lips are literally biologically designed for cock, you know, so you can lean on that if you want. Just speaking broadly, this is just such massive beta behavior. What they're basically saying is they don't want or care about anything. All of their desires are completely ephemeral, and they all exist to impress other men. You realize that's what they're saying, right? Because women are nothing more than side pieces to them for the broader clout game. Literally everything they do in life is part of a petty consumerist spend money to impress the other men in your life shit. Bro, just suck their cocks. Just suck it's fine. Like he derives literally no enjoyment from life. He brags about his ability to program other people into you know, status or wealth or whatever. But programming, allowing yourself to be programmed by another person is by definition compliant. So yeah, I don't know.
If I do my side of the bargain, I want your side of the bargain, which is I want to feel respected in the household.
Weak. His accent flip-flopping is so uncanny. Well, like Patrick Bateman, he doesn't have much going on inside. Excuse me. Are we in the middle of a segment right now? Why do people ask that? What do you, I'm live streaming. Anything could be a segment. Aren't we programmed to you? I don't want to program you guys. That's so fucking weird. I wish I could have a conversation with like an actual Tate fan. I talked to that one like pickup artist guy on Andrew Tate's band, but he didn't like engage with anything that I said. That was just like a one-sided, like he had to play it too neutral. There's got to be like a Tate fan or whatever who would actually engage. Debate Sneeko, he's a Tate clone. If he ever emails, that guy's kind of, isn't that guy like primo retard? Oh, that's the guy who's friends with Nick Fuentes. Would there even be a point in talking to him? I think I've seen a couple of convos with Sneeko before, and I think he's literally at the level where, of like, intellectually, he's at the level of like, in comp class, like whispering penis as loud as you can without the teacher noticing. I haven't gotten the impression he pays any attention to the conversations he's having. He just likes having conversations. Oh, yeah, he's the IRL cuckold, right? He was the guy who got in a bunch of drama because he was actually getting off to other people fucking his... That's very funny. Cucko? Yeah. Barely sentient brick. Oh, that's right! He was defending cuties! He said he thought it was hot. Wacky guy. Do you see this? Well, I liked it, so I probably saw it, yeah. This is seriously what's wrong with this country. This receipt was in the shopping cart at Costco. This person just spent $613 on shrimp, lamb, pork belly, New York steaks, and lobster tails on an EBT card and still has $1,800 left in the EBT card. Hell yeah. Fucking based is what I'm saying. Let's say, I found this receipt that showed a guy is gonna have a good Christmas, a Merry Christmas. Yeah, good. We eating good tonight. Hell yeah. There's no way that's true. You can let it depends on the specifics, and you can let a lot save up on an EBT card over time and then spend money on it. Oh, by the way, apparently this person, Dawn McKenzie, shut down the thread after it was found out she accepted like $3 million in PPP loan forgiveness. Oh, she got busted. It's her own receipt. Okay, wait. So not only did this person receive millions in unprompted debt relief from the government, but then they bought a bunch of nice food themselves and then made up a story to impugn the poor? This is actually the least classist Republican. They really are like barely human. It's incredible how fucking hateful they are. Vaush, did you see this new isekai? Yeah, I did. Speaking of barely human. New peak isekai coming. Yosha ni zenbu ubawarata ore wa yusha no hahaya to party kumimashita. Main character gets kicked out of his party, so he decides to take revenge by buying their mothers from the slave market. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I actually think this is based as fuck, because we're clearly moving towards a singularity of isekai light novel writers and mangaka. We're reaching a singularity of retardation, and I think we're accelerating like unbelievably quickly, and I kind of just want to see where this goes. I feel like just 5 years ago, it was like, oh, here's my new story. Guy reincarnates in fantasy elf world where all the people are big boob lollies, elves with big boobs. And now from that point, we're now sort of we're in the accretion disk, and we're just kind of spiraling down and towards what will one day be, when the prophecy is fulfilled, the worst isekai story. That's what I'm waiting for. I just want the worst isekai light novel to come out, and then for it to get the worst isekai anime adaptation, and then I want to watch it, and then I want to kill myself at the end of it in Minecraft. Hey, at least they're not kids. You're right, actually. Given the fact that all of these women appear to be adults, we're actually way, 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 way above par when it comes to isekai adaptations. Honest to God, this might actually be a moral good if it can pull the types of people who watch this shit away from the lollies. Wait for chapter 2. Oh yeah, I'm sure. This is the chapter 1 MILF lineup. Zan would love this? Yeah, probably. Here's a TikTok explaining how the lady got busted for the EBT receipt if you wanted it. Tempest, when you edit this together in a segment, make sure to keep the isekai bit.
Remember the lady Dawn who hates poor people that found the receipt at Costco? Ooh, I have an update for you guys. Are you ready? So this Karen out in Murrieta, California claims that she found a receipt with $613 worth of premium meat purchased at Costco with an EBT card. And there was an $1,800 balance, and she basically shamed the person who used this card to purchase their meat. Well, Twitter did their thing, and turns out old Dawn is the one who actually used the EBT card. After Dawn's tweet went viral, stealth internet users looked her up, found her Instagram, and noticed something pretty suspicious. Several of the items on the receipt she found now appeared on her Instagram, like this pork belly. And they went to her Facebook and found the steaks. They also looked Dawn up and found out that she has a $3 million PPP loan that she took out that was also forgiven. After Twitter users threatened to turn Dawn in for fraud, guess what she did? She deleted her Twitter. It's nothing worse than an anti-poor hypocrite.
How would you get her on fraud? She just lied about the receipt. How? Okay.
Especially one that leads a whole trail of evidence back to themselves. Dawn McKenzie, do better. The internet's watching.
I guess this bitch would be somebody stupid enough to think you could actually get an illegal PPP loan fraud. I don't think that would be. I don't think that has anything to do with this. She took PPP loans without needing them. Everyone took PPP loans without needing them. Everyone. Isn't that like insurance fraud? No. EBT fraud? I don't. Did it even indicate? Okay, nothing. Never mind. I guess EBT is a food stamps program. Yes, it is. She's on EBT without needing it. She's not going to get in any trouble. Anyway, look, whatever. It doesn't matter. How do you know so much about PPP fraud? Yeah, I know a lot about it because I should have done it. Fuck. Dude, everyone did. Destiny did it. I didn't have a LLC at the time because I still don't because I'm fucking terrible at doing this shit. Yes, Mr. Government, sir, I need $5 billion to run this YouTube channel. Please. Yeah, Hassan did it, didn't he? Everyone did it. Everyone did PPP fraud. Oh my god. It was like literally the PPP program was literally the PPP was literally a free handout to people who had any kind of like legal corporation. Stop, he's gonna say you're telling people to report him. Oh yeah, shit, wait, he probably will. Destiny will be talking about how I made death threats against him or something. Here's the basics of the isekai, it's weird. Mix this in with the other thing. What? What? That's a personal problem, buddy. Translation for the WN is up to date. After reading the WN for a bit, in this world, all males are lolicons and go for women that are less than 17. Women in their 20s are considered old and tend to be discarded and even sold as slaves, but the MC is a babacon or a MILF lover, so he goes for them because he is mentally 42 due to reincarnating. His body is 14. First one he find is the hero mom that was sold as a slave because she was past her prime. The other women he get are the mothers of the girls from his ex-party MC childhood friends and are given to MC by their husbands for the same reason. They are past their prime, plus they found someone even younger. When two of MC childhood friends return to their hometown, they find that their fathers are remarried to younger girls younger than them even. And then the cutoff response at the bottom here is, why God? Why is this getting an anime God? I take it back. There's no utilitarian gain being made here. I have no idea. This is the most pedophilic premise I've ever read in my entire life, and it's being advertised in an image with 4 adult women. That's impressive. Oh my god. The nukes were justified. Yeah, we're taking it back. Nuking Japan twice was like a Minority Report situation. We were trying to stop crime before it happened, but we failed. We didn't use enough. Jesus Christ. Wait, this was real? I mean... Hold on. Let me Google the Japanese name. It's real. From animesenpai.net. Plot. The main character of the series is a 42-year-old man who gets reincarnated as another world as a baby. The story takes place when he's a 14-year-old boy. In this new magical world, the life expectancy is 50 years, and girls that are older than 17 are considered old. MC's child... Damn, we are closer to the singularity than I thought. Like, way closer. Holy shit. I thought we still had some time. Okay. Anime plots can't get any worse than this, can it? They probably can. But I don't want to be crushed into an infinitely small space, Vaush. Sorry. We don't get a choice. Would I read this isekai? Man, anime and manga are just too weird for me. That's because you're not reading the good shit. Yeah? What are you reading? So I turned into my boyfriend's pants. Wait, this is good, though. And well drawn. This is good. Here we go. I'm covering up the signature. That's some good shit right there. Peak fiction. Oh my fucking god. This one's a banger. Ore no Kohan wa Bishoujo Data no Ka. Ayumu Kosuga, a high school boy, was living an ordinary, boring life. Ayumu thought spring break would also pass without incident, but then his penis became personified as a cute girl. Of course it's a fucking lolly. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? Oh, even better, guys. This is currently running. The manga was syndicated in March of 2022. It scored 7.8 on my anime list. Right. Well. Is there any way to stop the Japanese? Yes. From my experience in Tokyo, the appearance of a large black man will stop most Japanese people dead in their tracks. So by strategically airdropping a paratrooper brigade of black men all over Japan, we can shut down the entire country. Not a bad idea, Allison JPEG. Elon tweet, please, please. What am I looking at here? Elon is Batman, I guess. Cool. You can tell he tweeted this quickly because he didn't have time to erase the artist's signature up there in the corner. You guys remember when he went on that like tirade on Twitter before he came out as a Republican about how he hates crediting art? Like he would post people's art and then the artist was like, "Hey," and he like got mad at them and did a thing. You remember that? I remember. No? That was about a year ago. Wait, why do I hear the baby screaming? Hold on. I am working. Yeah. 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 Okay. He finally did it, huzzah. Oh, nice. From the likes of Elon Musk. Posting publicly available videos isn't harmful, hateful, or dangerous. You know what is harmful, though? Confusing kids about their identity, stealing childhood innocence, exposing kids to adult sexual entertainment, giving kids porn at school, sterilizing and mutilating kids. Nice. We got the full circle. The explicit endorsement of doxing, as long as it's being done by them as well. From the main dox account. You all must watch Kirinu Kitakaki Seijo wa Hakudaka ni Samaru episode 3. We actually don't. No, we don't, actually. Fucking got him. They're showing their face in Tucker tomorrow? Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Japanese only stream when? Yeah, just because I can speak Japanese flawlessly doesn't mean you guys would be able to keep up. Sorry. Ugh. This holiday food has to pass through me eventually. My god, I feel sluggish. I feel like a goddamn roly-poly bug. State of power loss, or state of Texas lost power again. Yep, saw that. Yep. Sure was cold this past week, wasn't it? Love those Texas power grids. What is a bomb cyclone? It's a very cool cyclone. Now, it's on the list, though, Hakeem CC. The storm brought icy temperatures and strong winds to Texas on Friday, straining the state's power grid and leaving more than 77,000 people without power. Yeesh. Can't believe they reelected Abbott. Yeah, well, you know, Texas. Where are those videos from Seattle? Did I retweet those? Where'd you go? Man, why do I never retweet the good shit? What is wrong with me? Seattle ice. There we go.
He's going for it.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Ah!
Oh. She's screaming her fucking head off. Like there's a murder. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. All right. He's good. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. It's not over.
Oh, my God.
He is sliding, guys. Oh my god.
Oh, this guy with all this luggage has just gotten.
Oh.
No DMCA here. Yeah, guys, the streets of Seattle were completely unusable for 2 days. It was literally just an ice sheet over all of it. Have people not heard of chains on tires? No, people in Seattle. This is freak weather. This is not supposed to happen. Did you slide? Absolutely not.
I feel so. He's probably not even paying attention to us.
No copyright. Yeah, Seattle streets are No! No, no, no! Oh, good luck, my man. Damn, look at that power slide. I hate having to mute these, but that's probably not copyright. Is it? It was fucked out there, man. Wait, there was one video in particular that I saw that had an honest-to-God, like, service worker sliding down. Oh, wait, there are way more videos. Good, I wasn't done. Oh, my God. Oh, was it this? Oh, dude. These firefighters. Look, these are firefighters! Oh yeah, firefighters are weak to ice, of course. This is their elemental type weakness. It is worth noting they do have very grippy boots, though. Wait, with the goddamn music on TikTok. Ooh, brr, 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 brr. Ugh, slippy, ooh. Brr. Flat doggy. Every one of these goddamn videos. Oh no! No! What is that? Is that luggage?
Shit.
Huh?
Damn it. Alright, here I go.
Goddamn music, people, man. I love how he just accepts it. Well, here I go. All right. Fuck going outside in these conditions, man. Holy shit. Here I go sliding again. Every fucking video. I know that TikTok appeals primarily to ADHD-riddled fucking 12-year-olds, but you don't. Not every video needs to have the perfect sound clip brought for it.
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is Wet Dreams. Welcome to Jackass.
Good luck. This is very dangerous. Okay, she braked immediately. The moment she realized how fast she could potentially go, she braked immediately. And that,
Oh my god.
not really gonna stop her, though.
Yeah, is that fun?
Yeah, what a coward, honestly.
Come on. This house is a fucking prison!
Oh, okay. It's a fucking... Step Brothers. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Doing way better than the humans. Honestly. Like, by far. Shut up. You morons not know how to deal with walking on ice. I don't understand. Badger, did you not see the video of the firefighters not able to walk across one road? It's not a matter of whether you know how to. Also, no, Seattle isn't supposed to have ice covering every single surface. That's not something people deal with up here. This isn't fucking Nebraska. They're familiar with the concept of ice. That doesn't mean that they've experienced it. That was pretty good.
Look at this dog.
Northeast people think they're really good at walking on ice because their roads are salted. Take the salt away and they're nothing. Yeah, it's the way that people who live in like San Diego will give people in the UK shit when it's like it hits 100-degree day or something. Like people who live in Phoenix, Arizona, where their outdoor moments are spent dashing between like shade pits and buildings with AC that use the energy of a fucking sun. And then like some people in the UK in houses and buildings that do not accommodate high heat like are complaining about 100 and they're like, huh, it gets 102 every single year over here, you know, like, dude, you Seattle people aren't used to your entire city being blanketed in an even sheet of unbroken, perfectly smooth ice. It's like you haven't spent millions of dollars investing in a fleet of trucks that'll deposit salt everywhere in the event of freak climate change initiated winter storms. How do you not have contingencies for completely unprecedented events?
Will they make it? Oh, slippery puppy.
Wonder if the dog's feet get cold. They do? And I wouldn't want to take them out in the snow.
Daddy and I are definitely becoming voyeurs. this is not good.
Well, they're listening to music, but in the background. Also, this guy's old. He's gonna die if he falls. I believe in you, old man. Honestly, far smarter and better than other possible outcomes. Good job, dude.
I'm not getting down this hole. Look at this. Bro. No. Oh. Ah! Oh my god, no way. Damn. Let me get back up. Okay.
Okay, well, she's having fun at least. Shut up. Oh, no. The roads in Seattle are really quite steep, you know. This is so painful to watch. Why are you forcing me to watch this? Ah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Sorry, I didn't leave the house when the ice was at its worst. I'm just sort of amused by everyone else suffering. It feels like a reaffirmation of how wise it was on my end to not, you know? I'm just watching like, damn, that was so smart of me when I stayed inside that day. I hope they're all doing okay. I'm sure some people got hurt for real, you know, which sucks. God, fucking wacko. Paris police used tear gas and protesters decrying Kurdish center killings. Oh, I saw people crying about this on Twitter. Hundreds rally after 3 people allegedly shot by man awaiting trial for refugee camp attack. Protesters have clashed with police as they call for justice over the killing of 3 people in a Kurdish neighborhood in Paris. Dude, the Kurds are never going to get a fucking break, man. Holy shit. Well, if the Jews are so great, then why don't they invented Jews too? Hmm. Yeah, I guess we kind of have to pay attention to this. White House assails Texas Governor Greg Abbott over Christmas Eve migrant drop. So, for those of you who don't know, when temperatures in Washington, D.C. were reaching like 17 degrees, a bunch of migrants who were in America as part of the legal process for declaring asylum as outlined by international law were lied to and trafficked to D.C. to, I believe, Kamala Harris's house. Yep. Vice President Kamala Harris's house in Washington, D.C. on Christmas Eve. Lied to, shipped up there again. Oh, they've been doing this plenty. Yeah, no, they've been doing this a lot. But in this case, they were sent over, children, people who were coming up from the border, so not exactly prepared for freezing weather, being sent up into freezing weather on Christmas Eve. Hilarious. This man calls himself a Christian. Yeah, dude. If Christ Almighty had been born to a world of Greg Abbotts, he would have like frozen and starved to death well before he ever got put to the cross. No, it's just evil. No, again, like I've said, you can dispense with the complexities. They're just evil. They're just evil people. Yeah. An estimated 110 to 130 migrants seeking asylum, many of them families with children. Again, I have to remind you guys, the process for asylum seeking as a migrant involves entering the country where you want to declare asylum as outlined by international law that has been certified by us. We agreed to it. It is our law as well. So when migrants enter the country to seek asylum, that is what they're doing. That they are following that. They are following the law. It is not against the law to enter the country to seek asylum. Then you have a bunch of, Republican ghouls down there at the border looking to scoop up some migrants so they can fling them into a freezing temp Washington, D.C. as part of a political statement. Were placed on buses by Texas officials, immigrant aid groups said on Sunday after the migrants arrived in the U.S. Capitol. Governor Abbott abandoned children on the side of the road in below freezing temperatures on Christmas Eve without coordinating with any federal or local authorities. Now, keep in mind, the reason they're doing this is because they want these migrant children to freeze to death right in front of Kamala Harris's place so they could rush in with the cameras to show, right outside the gates of her mansion, a freezing child, in the snow. That is what they want. That is what they're looking for. They're essentially catapulting infants at Democrat institutions in the hope that one of them dies on impact and they get a good photo op out of it. Again, there's very little in the way of analysis here. It's just evil. It's evil by basically any ethical system. It's not even like a lefty or a liberal thing. It's just inhuman. It's like unambiguously. This is one of those things you could track back to biblical law. It doesn't even have anything to do with progressivism. You could talk to any standard of ethics at basically any point in recorded human history, and it's like, oh yeah, that's what happened. Oh yeah, no, that's completely fucked. Basically, everyone would go for that. It's so beyond subjectivity. Texas has bused thousands of migrants. This has been going on nonstop. I talked about it when they sent them over to that lawyer island a little while ago. But this has been going on nonstop. Texas has bused thousands of migrants to Washington, New York City, and Chicago in what some critics have labeled a stunt. Here we have Reuters with the impression of neutrality. It's not what some critics have labeled a stunt. It is a stunt. Over the high levels of immigrant arrivals along the U.S. southern border. Abbott has previously said his state was purposefully busing migrants to sanctuary cities where law enforcement is discouraged from deporting immigrants. Hassan said the Biden administration was willing to work with Democrats and Republicans on solutions to the migrant issue. Amy Fisher, an organizer with the Migrant Solidarity Mutual Aid Network, told NPR the migrants were immediately transferred onto city-provided buses in Washington and moved to a church that distributed hot food and clothes. Claudia Tristan, a coordinator with the same group, told Reuters on Monday that nearly all the migrants dropped near the president's home were already on their way to friends and relatives in the United States. Oh, nice. Wonderful. In a letter to Biden on December 20th, Abbott said the state was overburdened with thousands of men, women, and children crossing into Texas every day. who risked freezing to death on city streets. Hidalgo County, Texas, Judge Richard Cortez on Monday told CNN that localities in Texas like his were overwhelmed by the number of immigrants and could not accommodate them all. Never believe these people. Busing immigrants out of this area in a way helps us, but it's not a solution to this problem. Never believe these people. Yes, busing 100 migrants into freezing weather several states away helps us. Okay. Remember that immigrants, even illegal immigrants, and these are not, by the way, illegal immigrants. They're migrants. They're not illegal. They're legally here. What they are doing is part of the legal process of declaring asylum. They're asylum seekers. The process means that they declare asylum. They explain their migrancy status at one of a number of places you can legally do so. You have to do so in the United States. And after that, usually, they're talked to by a representative of the state, and they're given a court appointment. The court appointment will, once they arrive, they'll plead their case. They'll go through the whole process for migrancy and declaring asylum, whether or not their stay here will be very short or whether they'll be given a prolonged leave. But all of this is part of the legal process for allowing people in. There is, yes, Kiwatipi, this is true. There is a very, there is a big holdup at the southern border right now. We have problems with quick processing of migrants. We just need more people working on that. Immigrants are good. It's good. Immigrants are good. I want immigrants in this country. They're good in every possible sense. They're good for the economy. They commit less crime than Native Americans, like native, like non-immigrant Americans. It's just good. Send them in. Bring them in by the boatload, as long as they want to be here. That's important. Then they should be here. People who say that migrants and immigrants, they're here for the benefit of the ultra wealthy, their existence here depresses wages. Listen, first of all, immigration does not depress wages. We've been over this. Fact. Second of all, it is true that immigrants coming on into the country benefit wealthy people. You know what else does? Literally everything. The system is rigged in their favor. They say, the transnational, the cabal, neoliberal elites, they want immigrants in because it brings the money. Of course, obvious businesses businesses want things that will make the money. Say it ain't so. But everything makes the money. If you care so much about, I had this conversation with Sargon of Akkad, the conversation I had with him that made him swear off debates forever and then not talk anymore, where he was arguing that being pro-immigration is like a pro-big business thing. And then I was just saying, well, just let the immigrants in and then tax the hell out of the businesses or do whatever, nationalize them. I don't care. But he just would not go for it. Because, of course, in reality, those people, and in Sargon's case, I mean white nationalists, which is also a pretty standard Republican position now, they don't actually care that immigrants are disproportionately benefiting big business. Republicans are the party of disproportionately benefiting big business. They don't give a shit about that. They just don't like brown people. The whole actually it's about the corporate elite line. It's just a bad faith divergence. Then he admits being a white nationalist in the debate. No, he denied being an ethno-stater, but then explained he believed that he wanted no immigration to England, and he only thought people of British ethnicity should be allowed to stay there, or something like that. He was like, I'm not an ethno-stater, but I think mistake just be for the ethnos. What? Or something to that effect, I believe. It was 2 years ago. He's also very stupid. It was a meandering conversation. God. Anyway, Abbott will be going to hell, of course, obviously. And I'm very happy to hear that the majority of the migrants who are dropped off outside Kamala Harris's place have already found places to stay. Super hell. Where's a drawing of Dante's Inferno? Hold on. Dante's Inferno, Circles of Hell. Where's the here we go, yes. Where's the Greg Abbott line? I read that book this year, it was mid. Hey, it's just fan fiction, don't hate. That looks cool. So I guess you have Greg Abbott here, and then the only people below him are the people who will be buying the Blu-rays of the isekai that we learned about earlier, with the Lolicon planet and the Shota guy with the mom harem slaves. Greg Abbott, people who buy the Blu-ray, Satan himself. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that tracks. All right. Just a moment. Hi, Marcy. This was to be a short stream, and a short stream it will be. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read these donations, and then I'm going to record something briefly for Tempest, and then I'm going to skedaddle. Tomorrow morning, or maybe afternoon, I might try to put it back an hour. I will be doing another stream in which we will be finishing our conversation with that economist. You know it, Tempest. All right, let me read these out super quick. Stanchgate with $2. You would like High on Life, very Doom-like. I haven't heard of it. Save Point with $5. Thank you very much. I was worried if I made a manga, it would be bad, but after seeing that premise, I think I'll be okay. That's the spirit! Never doubt your own abilities, because trust me, somebody out there is making money doing a lot worse. AT5D2D Derek's, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Really appreciate that. Made a parody Greek statue account to make fun of the recently unbanned weirdos. Hell yeah. I like your choice in profile picture. That's a whoa. Absolutely. Mahlon Miller, thank you for the $10. It really sucks that Andrew Tate's dad was an international chess master. Imagine being a chess master and your son chooses to post stupid stuff online for a living. Yeah, imagine being my dad. No, you can probably blame Andrew Tate's dad, at least in part, for how he turned out to be. I don't think you can be like Andrew Tate without having poor parenting. I assume that being an international chess master might have made his dad kind of like a huge dick and pretty absent for most of his life. Yeah? Okay. Campus USXK, thank you for the $10. No, I do not think so. I'm not that big. Anarcho Zavoris, thank you for the tier 2 sub. Vaush, did you hear they're making a dog pill anime coming Q1 2023? No. How exciting. Finally, the female mystique brought to light. Diesel Weasel, thanks for the tier 1 sub. Alec Barrett, thank you for the £5. Recommending Charlotte96 call your dad mum. Kakao Wen, thank you for the $5. Have you given much thought to the Yemen Houthi Saudi situation? I don't know enough about it. Alex, thanks for the $5. I have not seen the Meat Canyon of Andrew Tate. Clement Kikik, thank you for the €5. I drank so much at my family's yesterday, including glue-smelling homebrew. Suffice to say, it's been the worst night ever. Now eating oranges. Drink lots of water. The Random Rabbit, thank you for the $5. Will you investigate Neil deGrasse Tyson's sexual misconduct? No, doesn't really interest me that much. N-word, 579. Can you explain why you don't like Rockstar games? I know the company is shit, but the games are fantastic. Red Dead, GTA, Max Payne, etc. I liked the Max Payne 3 game. That was pretty fun. But no, I just don't like big open worlds where you like go to story missions somewhere in them. I just don't like that much. The only game of that kind that I've ever really liked is The Witcher. But The Witcher is different because it plays out more like a single-player MMORPG in the sense that, like, every area you walk by is handcrafted, and then it just has a bunch of quests and people to talk to, and it all leads up to a big thing. I will say, the main reason I enjoyed Witcher 3 was for the narrative. I never thought I would care for a game of that size for its narrative, but I really did. I fucking loved The Witcher 3. I thought it was really good. Combat is mid. Yeah, the combat was pretty mid. I got addicted to the minigame Gwent. Oh, nuts. If you like Gwent, but you also liked the story and the dialogue, then I strongly recommend Witcher Thronebreaker. It's basically like a more involved Gwent game where you play out events that correspond to times in the book, and you have top-notch voice acting and story and what have you the whole way through. I really, really, really enjoyed it. There's a sequel? There's a sequel to the Thronebreaker? Is it the one with the hot warrior lady? Yes. It's basically like an RPG Gwent game where you develop your deck over the course of like a big... Did you ban Yen or Triss? Yen is the objectively correct answer. The more you know about Yennefer and Geralt, the more it becomes clear that Yennefer is the objectively correct answer. Triss can never be more than like the hot other girl who's also really into him and is a good friend. But nothing compares to Yennefer. It's way too fucking... There's too much going on there, man. Sage, thank you for the 10 Canadian. I recommend checking out Peter Joseph and his podcast Revolution Now. He uses structuralism, synthetic holism, and systems science to analyze what is possible. He doesn't waste any time. Brilliant mind. That's a pretty striking recommendation. I'll give it a look if I have the time, though I can't make any promises. Thank you. Yes, it is a choices matter game, for sure. Banana Crabman, thank you for the $5. I'll give a look to Monomyth. You guys are giving me a lot of recommendations I'm not going to remember. Terrifying, thanks for the $5. You ever played Dragon's Dogma? No, I have not. Sake with the 2 gifted tier 2 subs. Thank you. You can't tell me Andrew Tate isn't a jizz whistler with those DSLs. It's just wild how he looks, man. It is genuinely wild how he looks. Leafar, thank you for the $5. I don't think Vaush would like High on Life. Some parts of it are made with AI art. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wait, this game? This is the fucking Morty game where your gun is like, oh, geez, don't shoot me. Pew, pew, wow, you shot me. That's so... No, sorry. This is very much not going to be something I enjoy. Sake, thank you for the 4 gifted tier 2 subs. Vaush, you should watch Birdie Wing. It's a super wholesome lesbian golf anime with an absolute bop of an OP. Is this a non-pun donation from Sake Tanuki? Birdie Game, Golf Girl's Story. Known as the Rainbow Bullet, she vows to... Well, I'm here for midriff. And this bitch. Gotta peep it. She's underage. What? Really? Wait, you're just saying that. I don't think so. I don't think it's high school. All right. 19? Okay, 19, we're fine. It's fine. It's fine. 19, we're fine. Okay, let me record this bit. All right, this is going to sound a little bit preemptive, but that's okay because it's going in a video that's not out yet. Well, every video I contribute to by talking into it right now isn't out yet. Yes, hold on. All right, listen up, my little goobers, my little goobery goos, okay? This is a bit preemptive for you all, but in the future it won't be, because that's how time works. Did you know that it's almost 2023? That's a year. We're going to get an entire year of being in 2023. Now, foolish men have spent the past basically like 6 years, talking about how this is the year, this is the year, this is the year. Well, folks, got a secret, right? That I want to share with you. Every year is the year. Dividing the year up, the time that we have up in discrete, little units, distracts us from the fact that it's actually one contiguous life experience. We're running the whole way through. Was 2022 good? No. Was 2021 good? No. Was 2020 good? No. Was 2019? No. Was 2018? No. But is life good? Yes. 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 And is the channel good? No. But we'll keep working at it through 2023 and more. What a delight it is, seriously, to get to have this as a job. I still feel like I've barely been doing it for a little while, but it's been like 3.5 years now, since mid-2019, which is crazy. Not mid-2019, early, late? I don't actually remember. Early? I don't remember. I do not remember what time in 2019. I have no clue. No clue at all. Some length of time has passed. Thought it was 2018. Then it would be early 2019, like right at the beginning, and then through. So it's been 20, 21, 22, 20, nearly 4 years. God damn. That's crazy. 4 more years. 4 more years. That's what I'm saying, huh? See, Artemy's saying it. Look at him. Come here, you. Come here. Wow, sleepy. 4 more years. He's so mad. He was so sleepy. He's so mad right now. You don't pay rent. There we go. All right, folks. To be serious for a moment, just want to say, it's a real fun job. I love doing it. Want to keep doing it. No, I'm lazy. No, I end stream too early. No, I don't always get the donos. No, I don't always finish games. But having fun the whole way through. Hopefully you guys are too. You can, simple as, hate the rich, not classes, just don't like them. You can indicate your appreciation for my continued growth by subbing to the goddamn channel, hitting the goddamn bell, giving me your life savings in the form of PayPal donations so YouTube Super Chat doesn't take a 30% cut, and also saying in chat, ooh, cute baby, ooh. Post the fish. Post the fish. Ooh. He's so sleepy. Ooh. He's so mad. Whoa. All right. I love you guys. I really do. I'll see you all soon. And that is a sign off both to the bit I had to record for Tempest and also to the damn stream. I'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, you guys can go say hello to Canoe. Is Canoe streaming? Canoe is streaming. How do you do, Canoe? Make sure to go and ask her.